All right, guys, welcome to Sun Bru's Action Living. I'm your host. I'm Sun Bru Brandon. Also in the house today, we got Sam the mailman. What's up, Sam?
Hey, what's up? Not hearing anything in my headphones.
Uh-oh.
Where's you guys fucking decide?
The side. Oh, like that? There we go. All right, and also got Jimmy on the boards. Jimmy, what's going on, man?
Not much, man.
All right.
Oh,
now,
there we are.
There you are. Now, I've got kind of the echo sound going again today in my headphones.
Yeah, it's the mics are a little hot from last night.
A little hot. It got heated up in here last night with Lane and Big Dave.
Yeah.
Two men together, rocking the mics. Now, these beats are from Lane, right?
Yeah, these are actually, he gave these to me last night.
He didn't try to charge you some ridiculous fee every time we use it, like maybe like a quarter for every time we play it or anything? Is there some kind of
He didn't say anything about that. There could be
involved?
something like that, some stipulations that we have to deal with.
Yeah, we need to get the licensing rights so we can make sure that YouTube approves it now. Now, when he makes these, does that mean he's actually putting these together himself, or is he taking something from someone else's song and editing it?
According to him, he actually did the guitar parts of these songs, and then did like some drum loops and stuff in the background.
That's right, because he's in a band. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What kind of band is he in?
Sounds like some type of like new age rock band. What would you call that?
Man, I don't know.
It's Lane. Revolution Lane.
I like the name, though.
Yeah.
Is he the lead singer?
Yep. I think so. I'm just guessing, really, to be honest with you.
I'm going to try the different mic here for a second.
Oh, no, that's no good. That one's not any good.
I hear the whole echo thing going like I'm in a tunnel.
Well, you
On
need to
the
talk
roast?
in. Yeah.
There we go. I got it backwards.
Yeah, always talk into the logo side, like on the that mic, and it sounds a lot better.
Okay, there we go. Much better, dude. All right. Now, were people hearing me like that too, or was it just me hearing that?
It's a little bit less on their end because it's compressed, but yeah.
Okay, so
definitely
talking
sounds
to the
better now.
logo.
Yeah.
All right, so we're promoting a brand at this time, okay? Okay, I see the logo. It's kind of embedded into the side of the mic. All right, well, Revolution Lane, man, kicking it live for us here at the. They had some hip hop going on last night. Were they talking hip hop, or that just Killa B calling them up? Is that the one thing they mentioned the word hip hop? Was there some hip hop talk that I wasn't aware of, other than Killa B?
I don't know. I don't even remember Killa B being talked about. What was that?
Killa B called him about the threesome of his old lady.
Oh, yes, Killa B.
That would be hip hop, kind of, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sam, were you listening last night?
I heard a little bit of the show, but I didn't hear the whole thing.
Okay, now are you gonna? Did I see the chat room last night going? Were you doing chat room last night?
Nope, I wasn't.
I saw on my phone a chat set up or something, and had Sam the mailman. You could just kind of briefly see it.
Probably my name, because when I don't never log out, so when I was watching, I was watching on the bar live, and I don't see a chat room on there, but maybe because I was watching through Ustream.
Yeah, did they do chat, Jimmy, during the show?
I haven't really seen them talk about the chat, but one thing that I did last night to kind of change things up is we're now broadcasting on Justin TV again.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because the ads that would interrupt the shows were just unbearable. Like, I know that I got a lot of complaints about that on our show.
Okay.
I saw it a couple times whenever we were broadcasting. People would be in there being like, what the hell is up with being interrupted? So Justin TV, it front loads an ad, and then that's it. You stay on. And
now, on
there's no
Justin
more
TV,
ads.
though, what was our other issues with those guys?
The main issue with those guys was the rating that we had, but we are now on a new account, and I'm hoping that they aren't going to be as mean this time.
So we had the 18 and over rating system.
Yeah.
And I guess that was really it then. See, there was some other issue. We couldn't edit the videos is what the other thing was, but now we're using YouTube, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and if you go to justin.tv, you can do the chatting there right now. I'm actually about to start embedding that into the website so that that's actually being used. And
Okay.
then also another thing that's kind of good about it is the iPhone app. You can use the. Did you ever get the iPhone app?
Oh, man, we back to that again? Because that was an issue.
Yeah.
I had problems with it. I got the app, and it still wouldn't let me pull it up, though.
Oh,
so
really?
now does that mean you can't listen to us on Droids? 'Cause they're not used from you. That means no more droid, no more. What was the other one?
Once we get the shoutcast thing going, which is another thing that I'm working on right now, you'll be able to listen on anything.
I forgot to do that last night, didn't I?
Yeah. So, but I actually ended up finding out.
You got it all figured out.
Yeah. Long story short, I got it figured out. I'm able to get us online today. So.
All right. Well, guys, man, we had a meeting last night. We're getting tech savvy for one thing. That's a given. We're getting our stuff together. I mean, I would say we're gonna start having intros. Look, we don't normally have music on the Sun Bru, and now we're calling it Sun Bru Action Living. I've been told to add a little more to the Action Living from some people, so we're gonna try that. We've always called it Sun Bru Action Living for the most part, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna have the commercials kicking in. We need to show today's Biker Garage segment, by the way, the second part of the hour. We need to show the segment we did over at Longhorn Harley Davidson a couple weeks ago, man. Because that never got aired. Can we play that today?
I don't have the original video file from that. Yeah, it ended up coming out like all messed up, so that's not actually something that we can use. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to move over to this system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's lost. That's like if we could ever find it one day, it'd be worth a lot of money.
Yeah. People are gonna be trading that on eBay pretty soon.
The lost files of Longhorn Harley interviews.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, Pugs will be here shortly, I believe. I believe he's gonna stop in today. He's becoming quite the regular around here, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like a guy that needs a substitute teacher all the time because I'm so busy doing other things. But he's a good substitute. He's better than he's actually the real deal. Where I'm just kind of a generic, off-brand sidekick wannabe. Is that the best way to describe that? Yeah. No formal education. No broadcasting school.
Formal education's overrated, really.
It is. Yeah. Didn't he go to some big Columbia?
Did he do Connecticut?
I don't know what he did.
Oh.
When I just said Columbia, it made me think of Columbia School of Broadcasting that's on TV commercials. Is that the same thing?
I thought it was Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
There's Connecticut School of Broadcasting. There used to be the Columbia School of Broadcasting, I believe.
Weren't these all just like places where you could throw them money and then they would be like, yeah, good job?
Yeah, basically. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Oh, that's right.
Wherever Pugs went, I know that somebody was in awe of where he went one time. We were sitting down and he went there and gave him all the street cred. So I think wherever he did go to school and get his degree, it was a pretty big deal.
Pretty legit place.
Pretty legit. Yeah, it was dope. Very legit. But have y'all ever thought about getting your University of Phoenix degree? So many commercials.
My dad actually went to the University of Phoenix, and I hate to say this, but I have run into so many different people that run businesses or they're the hiring manager. And they always say that when they see University of Phoenix, that goes into the pile that they won't be reading the rest of.
Oh, it's like now your dad went there, but he didn't do it recently. I mean, it's like an online. It's like a joke, right?
Well, they actually have actual schools that you go to and sit down in class. So you go through the motions of everything that you normally do in school, as far as I know. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know if it's a lot easier than normal college or if it's just more convenient because you're able to do it at night.
It's like all these colleges have kiosk and mall, so you can get the credibility. I went to SMU, even though you live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You went to the local SMU at the strip mall.
Yeah, it's like what's it called? University of Texas at Arlington.
Yes.
And they're just going to keep on doing it. University of Texas at the snow cone factory, every single place that you can go to.
Isn't there a University of Arizona? There's another one here locally that's like some other state that's all over the place also.
Oh, I don't know.
I've seen the University of North Texas in DeSoto. So instead of going to UNT and Denton, those that don't want to drive from Denton to DeSoto or vice versa. But anyway, it's like a joke nowadays. I mean, why would you want to get a degree from something that's online?
Well, I think that the entire school system is about to be completely turned on its head right now. I mean, I think in the next 10 years, the idea of going to school for a full-fledged degree is going to be very less likely.
Yeah.
Not just because of money, but because it's just not efficient,
You made it through what grade? 12th grade?
And then a little bit of college, yeah.
How much a little bit? I went to 6 weeks.
I probably got a year and a half worth of credits.
Okay. Sam?
I got 1 year of college in.
1 year of college in? You guys got me beat then, man.
We're smarter than you.
Well, yeah. What's funny is I was so ahead of the times, man. I was at the cutting edge of college back in the 90s. I did telecourses. That was very, very cutting edge back then, okay? The internet was just brand new. They just invented the automobile, and I did telecourses. What that meant was you had to wake up on Saturday mornings at 7:30 and watch TV. And it was your course. And then you mailed your homework in, which I I think I didn't even catch one episode of my courses. Not even one. Because it's who's up at 7:30 on a Saturday morning when you're 19 years old? Nobody. Or 18.
Yeah, that's why I was really lucky because the ones that I actually had to go to class for, I ended up dropping those, but the online courses were where I was able to do well.
Yeah.
But that's a go as you go, you know.
It's like, what do they call it? Paces. Almost, right? All right, man. Well, let's talk about some fun stuff in the news there. What's going on there, Sam?
Oh, man.
I caught you off guard.
I got one story we can read.
All right.
We only have one story for the rest of the show.
And it's from 2 weeks ago.
It's going to be a good one.
Oh, it is a good one. So, if you break up with your significant other and they're a dentist, would you still go to them for dental work?
Ooh. There was a King of Queens episode that's similar to this with Carrie and her ex, not lover, but I don't know. Probably not.
You know, I'm kind of in this situation.
That's right. You date dentists.
Yeah, dental assistants. And like just the other, like I guess it was like a couple weeks ago or whatever. I had some serious pain in one of my teeth. I was like, oh, I'm finally gonna have to get this thing taken care of. I'm gonna have to go to the dentist. And I knew like a few different girls that I would feel comfortable maybe calling them and seeing like, hey, what should I go about doing this? Like, is this something that will just pass or whatever? And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, man, this is really uncomfortable. I'm gonna have to like really trust these people. There's one more so that I would.
The girl from Dukes. What's her name? Well, what's that girl? Is that you trust her?
Yeah, I guess I would.
Oh, hold on. She got fired though. Did she get a job?
Yeah, she got another one.
A dentist?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of weird, but I think when it really comes down to it, when you're in a little bit of pain, especially if you don't have health insurance, and they might be able to help you out. Yeah, I'll have to go through that.
Dude, I don't know what kind of pain you're in, but one time I had I needed a root. Was it a root canal, I guess. Oh my goodness, I'd fought the pain for years. It's like you feel it. You eat potato chips, you feel it. And it goes away. It's gone. It's going. You go buy the numbing stuff. You ever buy the numbing stuff at the store?
Yeah.
You put that on there, and you kind of live through it. And then one day I woke up in the most agonizing pain I've ever felt, dude. I mean, I started drinking beer. I took as much Tylenol. I mean, I was about to overdose on so many things. And I'm not a drug person.
Yeah.
And I was like almost in tears. I felt like I couldn't escape it. I tried to sleep. I tried exercising to kind of like make my body have other pain. And finally, man, I was just, like I said, almost in tears. I called a friend up, a BMX mom. Her son and her husband raced for my team. So I called her up. I was like, I didn't know who to turn to, man. And I realized right then that's when it'd be good to have a mom or a wife around.
Yeah.
So I had to turn to her, and I ended up going to urgent care to get shots. It was so freaking painful. Ah, man. Teeth can be the worst, man.
They really can. I was right along those lines, man. I didn't want to take as much aspirin, so I was like anteing up on the alcohol intake for like a week, which, man, that was just horrible. Wake up every single day with a hangover and a sore tooth.
Yeah.
Start drinking more.
What was the outcome?
Seems fine now. So, I'm sure one day I'll wake up and it'll be much worse. So,
all right. Well, Sam, back to the story at hand then.
A Polish woman is facing 3 years in prison after she removed all of her ex-boyfriend's teeth during dental surgery just days after their breakup. I tried to be professional and detach myself from the emotions, she said, but when I saw him lying there, I just thought, what a bastard, and decided to take all the teeth out. He reportedly showed up at the office complaining of a toothache just days after he broke up with her. She then allegedly gave him a heavy dose of anesthetic, locked the door, and began removing all his teeth one at one.
That's pretty severe.
Adding to the trauma, the guy said his new girlfriend has already left him over the fact that he was toothless now.
Oh, goodness. What is going to happen? What kind of charge is this lady facing?
It says
an ass kicking is what she's facing.
She's facing 3 years in prison.
Stop it. That's her maximum is 3 years in freaking prison. To replace his teeth would probably cost you 3 years of your salary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably not too far off from that, though.
No, definitely not.
Oh, my goodness. You got to be kidding me.
How much would that cost? Probably like $60,000, $70,000.
Yeah.
No, I bet all his teeth are missing.
All of
That's
them?
probably like $100,000.
He also said he's going to file a malpractice suit.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, so what do you think, Sam?
Ugh, that just freaks me out just thinking about having no teeth at all. Oh.
I can think of a lot of crazy things that girls will do, but that's definitely one of the top ones. Did you hear about the girl that this was actually here locally? I want to say in McKinney, but there was a motel that a guy and a girl ended up going into. It seems like it was one of those seedy type ones. Someone ended up overhearing an argument that was going on in the room next to them, so he ended up calling up to the front door or the front desk. Basically the thing intensified. He started hearing it more and more often, and then all of a sudden, like, a guy was screaming, and finally he ended up like going outside and seeing what was going on. Just as he's going outside, he sees a girl walking out with blood all over.
Oh my God.
And so he ends up calling the police. When the police get there, they open up the door because he was a little bit weird about opening up the door. When they open it up, they find out that the man had had his entire penis removed.
Oh.
And then afterwards, he was stabbed multiple times in the chest. Yeah.
So he died?
Yeah.
Was it recently?
This was recently and no more than 10 miles away from where we are right now.
How come I didn't hear about this?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't near as... Well, I don't watch local
How'd
news.
you hear about it?
I think I read it on Reddit. So...
That should be a major freaking story.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. Have you do a Google search, just the news Google search for castrate? There's a lot of girls doing this.
Wow, dude.
Is that something you do often? Look for people that got castrated?
No, if I do stumble across a story and I'm like, oh, surely this doesn't happen very often, I will do a news search to find out how often it happens. So yeah,
wow,
unfortunately, this is almost like a weekly thing for girls to do.
Jimmy, you've been with a lot of crazy women. Have you ever worried that one of them might take a knife while you were sleeping?
Danielle many times threatened to. Many times. So, yeah, a little bit. She chased me around with a knife one time, and I was pretty sure she was going to kill me.
Is that the dentist?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wow, dude. That's pretty crazy. That's insane that happened so close and we didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you heard about it, but then then what's sad is the guy heard the whole thing going on and didn't do nothing about it. I mean, or he tried to, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I really, you know that he's going to end up feeling really guilty about it for, a long time, probably the rest of his life. But you really can't get down on yourself too much because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be dealing with other people's business, even if they're yelling. If like some girl is crying, because she, obviously needs help at the very moment that you hear it, okay, get involved. But at the same time, people are way too quick to jump in on other people's business.
That lady had to be insane, right? I mean, she just did all this. She walks out covered in blood. I mean, you got to be like out of your mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to check into that and see what happened to her. I'm curious. Like 3 years to remove someone's teeth, that's just insane. I mean, that's a felony because of the amount of damage she did, the money value of that whole thing. But, I mean, it's physical. I just can't believe that. I think if I walked out and punched somebody, I'd get more than 3 years. Or I'd face more than 3 years for that, wouldn't I? Like for an assault charge?
Especially if you had something on you.
With a deadly weapon?
Yeah.
I would think that there's got to be. That just pisses me off, man. That's just a lot of damn money that was spent. Oh, man. Anything else in the news there, Sam?
Mick Jagger's going to host the final episode of SNL this season.
Saturday
Two
Night
things
Live.
that...
He's been on twice as a musical guest, but never has hosted the show.
How old is he now?
50-something? No.
Name 2 things that haven't mattered in the last 2 decades.
It doesn't say. No, because they just had their 50th anniversary as a band, so he's going to be in his, late 60s, early 70s?
I kid Mick Jagger. He's awesome.
Wow, dude. Well, he's got that new song about dancing. It's about him. It's not his song, but
the moves like Jagger.
Yeah. So, do women think he's just incredibly sexy?
I know they used to. My aunt had a really big thing for him.
He's got the big mouth, kind of like Steven Tyler. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at him, don't you think if he was just a normal guy, you'd think he was ugly?
Yeah, but that basically goes for everybody. Anybody who's popular, like for instance, like Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's say that he's working in waste management, and on Sunday night you see him strolling by on the back of a garbage truck. He's gonna have a little bit harder time picking up girls.
Yeah. I watched that show over the weekend when I was out of town where he plays to be a airline pilot. Remember, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Good movie, man. It's based on a true story. That's what's amazing. And he's like 17 years old, pulling off all these scams and banging hot chicks. You know what I mean? Anyway, that was if that story is anywhere close to being what they depicted, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they embellished quite a bit of the movie to make it a little more jazzed up and fun. But yeah, you're right. The Leonardo DiCaprio would not be quite the stud that he is if he wasn't a movie star. You remember when he was on Growing Pains? Did you watch that?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch that, Sam?
Yeah, Growing Pains, yeah.
That's the one with like Kirk Cameron and the Tracy chick that got fat but had an anorexia problem. Alan Thicke was on there, and the blonde-headed mom who looked like a lot of other blonde-headed moms.
Joanna Kearns.
Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 women at that time that were on sitcoms that all looked alike. Because the Wonder Years mom looked sort of like her, and there's another blonde mom that was out there. But hey, me and Pugs had a good debate yesterday.
Uh-oh.
All right, now Jimmy, I don't know if this is going to be part of your air. You'll know at least one of the names. Sam, you should be a good person to chime in on this. Who's the 2 hottest chicks of the 80s on sitcoms? Can you name one of them?
On the 80s
In the 80s.
sitcoms?
Early
wow.
80s, like mid 80s. 84, 85, 86.
Valerie Bertinelli when she grew up.
She's like 81 probably. But okay. She's like 78, 79.
Wasn't that like 70s to mid 80s?
Yeah, it might have been to like 82.
One day at a time?
Yeah. Okay, Valerie Bertinelli. Okay, that's a good one. A little bit too
God,
more.
You're putting me on the spot here. No, she wasn't a regular though.
Sitcoms, 30 minutes long, kind
Yeah,
of funny, kind of comical. I'll help you out here. Tony Danza.
Alyssa Milano when she grew up.
Oh yeah, didn't you think she was gorgeous?
Towards the end of the series, when it started, she was such a tomboy.
She was like a little 12-year-old. Yeah, she always wore overalls, Guess overalls. But Nicole Eggert.
Oh, Baywatch? Yeah.
No, not Baywatch. Whoa,
Oh.
Charles in Charge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I never watched that show, but now
Now you're just a little bit older than me, not much though. But I was at their age though. I mean, we're about the same age as me and those girls. So man, they were so freaking hot.
Oh, wait a minute. Can I imitate Pugs on this?
Yes.
You're freaking out of your mind. You are so wrong. She was not hot. Trust me, she was not hot. Tracy Gold was hot. I'm just saying this as an example. Tracy Gold was hot. Alyssa Milano was not hot. You're out of your freaking mind. Because you can't have a discussion with Pugs. Pugs is always, most of the time, Pugs is 99% of the time, Pugs thinks he's right and there's no discussing. Like that chick yesterday, we're having this discussion. She, what was her name? The Sports Illustrated chick?
Kate something Upton.
She was cute, but I didn't think she's all that hot. And trust me, that video did not do a damn thing for me.
No,
for
okay.
dancing.
There is no way in hell that Kate Upton is hanging out with you, and you're like, would
no.
not be with her.
I never said that. I never said that, but I'm just like, she's hot, but she's not the most smokingest person in the world.
You're saying she's not goddess material.
Yeah,
Okay.
in my opinion, and that's all I said. In my opinion, but there's
Pugs-
no arguing.
So you're saying that she is model quality, but not what? I'm trying to figure out, like, where are you saying that she is not hot enough to be?
You guys made it sound like she's the most beautiful woman in the world ever. Period.
Okay, but yeah, you wouldn't say that she's in that class?
Not the most beautiful in the world, but she.
Who would you put in this one?
Who would I put in that one?
Yeah.
What's her name is really smoking hot.
Diana.
Pippa Middleton. Pippa, the sister of.
How about Diana from
Diana.
Apprentice? Celebrity Apprentice. Diana.
She's hot. No, the other chick's hotter.
I think Diana.
You talking about
so
Trump's
gorgeous.
daughter?
No.
Oh, Trump's daughter's hot.
Yeah, she's
No,
on
Diana.
that.
That's
Celebrity
Ivanka.
Celebrity Apprentice has Miss Universe 2008. Diana something Mendoza or something. She is gorgeous. She's sexy.
No, but my point is that there's sometimes with Pugs, you can't have a discussion because it turns into he's always right.
He told me that Nicole Eggert was not hot back then. And I'm like, she was beautiful. She's the most beautiful girl, in my opinion, on TV during that time period that was of that age. You know what I mean? She was just incredibly good looking, just gorgeous. Granted, she gained a lot of weight, and she doesn't look like that now. But Alyssa Milano definitely beat her in the long haul. But Nicole Eggert, do you know who that is? Jimmy? Nicole Eggert was on She was on Charles in Charge as the.
She did not age well because she did Celebrity Rehab.
Yeah. It wasn't Rehab. It was Celebrity Fit Club.
Oh, Fit Club. That's right.
Yeah. She then went on to do Baywatch. Now, she didn't look as good on Baywatch as she did on Charles in Charge. And I wonder if Pugs is picturing the Baywatch image. Because on Baywatch, she had the real short hair. And I don't know. She wasn't as hot on Baywatch as she was when she was on Charles in Charge. Then she went on to be on Celebrity Fit Club there, Jimmy. She gained about 35 extra pounds. You know, for a fat chick, she wasn't all that fat though. You know what I mean? She was overweight. She wasn't what she used to be, but she's still attractive. She's kind of pretty. Alyssa Milano definitely in the long haul beat her though, for sure. Now you know Alyssa Milano, right, Jimmy?
Yeah.
She did that show at
Yeah,
the
she
Witches.
she's kind of geeky. I like her.
Is she geeky?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
She's always one of the early adopters on social network. So like for instance, she has like a Google Plus profile that she's really big on. So like she's always really early to adopt like technology. She's always putting out tweets about different types of like website news and things like that.
Okay, didn't know that about her. Remember she was on a show called Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You remember that there, Sam?
That movie, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was such a cool
If
guy,
you want to
man.
talk about Alyssa Milano, this is my Alyssa Milano story. You have to rent Embrace of the Vampire. It's a
Okay.
cheesy movie, but she's naked a lot and she's having sex with men and women.
Okay, Embrace the Vampire.
Embrace of the Vampire.
Whatever happened to Nev Campbell? Remember her from Party of Five that
She
went on
was
to do
never
Wild
hot.
Things? I didn't think so, but she went on to do Scream. But people thought she was hot. That's why she was such a big, star. She did the Scream movies, and whatever happened to her though? She ever
That's
fade
about
away?
all she did. She was known for, she dated John Cusack for a while.
That is not true at all. She did the greatest movie ever, Wild Things.
Yeah, I said Wild
Oh,
Things.
that's right.
Okay, yeah.
She had the love scene of Denise Richards. Remember?
Absolutely.
In the pool. That's one of the sexiest TV moments of all, or movie moments of all time.
That was my replacement for porn in high school.
God, did y'all not? Was Denise Richards just not incredibly hot in her day? I mean, man, that girl, her eyes and her lips. Where did she break out into? Was it Wild Things? Is that her first starring role?
She did some episodes of Melrose Place. Because here's a story, and here's my Denise Richards story if you'd like to hear.
Yes.
She had done a couple episodes of Melrose Place. No, just 2 episodes. And then this was before Charlie Sheen. They did a press junket for Wild Things that I got invited to when I was working in radio. So I got flown out to L.A. for a weekend and got to sit at a round table where all the a bunch of reporters would all sit at the table and throw out questions and record it. So first thing was Kevin Bacon, lots of questions.
Right.
Next in was Matt Dillon, lots of questions until I asked if he was still with Cameron Diaz and they shushed him out of the room because they had just broken up.
Okay.
Next,
You asking the question?
yeah.
How cool.
Next person, Nev Campbell, lots of questions. Denise Richards comes in, no questions.
Nobody
Maybe
asked this
like
hot chick any questions?
Maybe one question about Melrose Place, but because no one had known who she was,
Oh, okay.
like nobody asked really any questions, and she probably wasn't even in there 5 minutes because no one was asking questions.
No kidding. She just has to
Yeah.
get up and leave. So, okay, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I would have just started asking random stuff like, hey, you're hot. Where the hell did you come from? Who have you banged? Who are you banging now? Why would not ask those kind of crazy stuff? I mean, just for the hell of it. Now, do y'all still think she's hot?
Denise Richards?
Yes.
Yeah, she's still good looking.
I definitely do.
Yeah, she's attractive. She just kind of added that little older woman weight where it's kind of a little bit of a movement in her arms. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's kind of like she's added like a pound everywhere around her body. You know what I'm saying? Not quite as tight as she used to be, obviously, but what is she, like probably 40 years old now? 41, 42, somewhere in that age. Got a couple kids. You know, I would not be with Denise Richards, as hot as she is and wealthy and everything. She's got too many freaking animals. She's got like a freaking petting zoo in her backyard, like an adoption, like the SPCA or something going on.
Really?
Oh, tons of dogs. You know how bad her place must stink? Well, off of her money and success, her place has got this reek of urine and poop. You never saw the show she was on? She had like on a reality show for a while.
Mm-mm.
I can't remember what it was called. It's like her and her dad living together because her mom passed away. Or they got divorced.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
that's right. She did that E. It was on E, Denise Richards. It lasted like a season because nobody watched it.
I think it might have made 2. Went 2 seasons. I watched a few of it. It was disturbing. It's just like you don't want to see this chick hanging out with dogs all day long. It's like Heidi Fleiss for parrots and her birds. It's gross. It's disgusting. So 1 or 2 dogs, fine. 20 dogs, got a problem. So anyway, let's talk about something else in the news. Jimmy, did you find that report on Yahoo? You know who I go to for my news, my breaking news about the tan mom?
Oh, nuh-uh.
Can you look for it fast and see if we can play the video? I think it's important to the story here at hand. I want you to see it especially, and Sam, because, guys, this lady from New Jersey, of all places, she's from New Jersey, so Snookyville. She goes on and she's accused of having her daughter tan in a tanning bed, okay? And so her daughter, I've heard 2 things. Heard it was 4 years old, and I've heard 5 years old, so maybe she just had a birthday. But she got arrested, had a $25,000 bond set up, okay? First of all, it's against the law in the state of Texas, at least, to take your child into the tanning room and shut the door, okay? Because their eyes aren't protected. You got the UV light rays that can, damage give you cataracts and stuff. And I just don't get this case because it sounds like her daughter went to school Sunburn, okay? So the teachers, knowing this mom, called the child protective services in, and they went and arrested her for this. And I just don't get how they can do that because there's not one person saying that they saw this lady take this little kid into the tanning room. The dad says the kid was outside of the room. The person that works at the tanning salon, who's in charge of that tanning salon and controls that device, says the kid was outside the room. So the reason I'm bringing this up because I'm dealing with something legally myself that just blows me away. I mean, do y'all think it's right that no one's saying that they saw this kid in the tanning room, but just because the kid is sunburned, that this mom is arrested? What do you think about that, Sam? That seem fair to you?
Well, shouldn't it? Did the person at the front desk not see the kid go in?
No, they said the kid did not go in.
Oh, okay.
The person at the front desk have you been to a tanning salon before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've actually tanned?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's stricter now. It's much. In fact, there's a lot of new laws and rules, so they're pretty super safe about this stuff. No one saw this kid go into a tanning room. I think that's the article right there. Is that the
how
one on
can she
Yahoo?
be in trouble?
That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't get this. Is that the one, Jimmy? I just saw the interview from the news.
I got a picture, but not a video.
Man,
the video's a Yahoo video.
So you can't play it on our thing. Well, put the picture up of the mom. That'll help. I want Sam. Have you seen the picture?
Yeah, she's really dark. Doesn't she go 5 times a week?
If I run a tanning salon, this lady's not tanning there because she goes 5 times a week, which is not unheard of, okay? But when you see how dark she is and how brown and orange, it's horrible looking. It's the worst thing for your business in the world, okay? I don't want someone going around that looks like ass representing Sun Bru going, I'm a Sun Bru bikini model. I've made women take off my Sun Bru tank top. I've caught women wearing Sun Bru tank tops that says bikini team that aren't part of our team, and I've had to ask them to remove them. I'm like, I don't know where you got that from. I need to ask for that back, though. It's just not cool. I mean, this chick is so, it looks something, it would scare the hell out of you. It makes this Something About Mary, I remember that show, There's Something About Mary? Is that what it's called? With Cameron Diaz?
Yep.
Remember that old lady that was all tan? This lady looks like that lady, and this is real, though. It's not makeup. It's not made up, and she looks worse. And her husband, there's a picture of her husband. He's like a normal white guy. I just don't get how anybody could put up with this. Like, if that was my mom, my sister, my girl, anything connected to me, I would just be like, what the hell? Stay away from me. It's that disturbing, though. So we'll see if we can put a picture up on the screen here so Jimmy can show it. But do y'all think it's fair that she was arrested and there's not one person saying they saw this kid in this damn tanning room? I mean, people get sunburned outdoors.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So how can they blame her and say that she was taking into a tanning bed?
Yeah, and I can see where they might think it. But I think before you get arrested, now here's the deal. You're arrested, you're not guilty, but you're arrested. Now you got to come up with the bond money to get your ass out of jail. $25,000, okay? Okay, there's the picture. We have her up on screen now, Jimmy. Look at that. You would think she was a burn victim, wouldn't you? I mean, it looks horrific.
It really does. It looks like goldish brown.
It's crazy. She looks burnt, like you put in the toaster and you forgot about her.
Ugh.
I mean, and we call this tanorexia, and it's when the over tans, they get too much. You see it happen. I've never, in all my years of being in the tanning industry, I've never seen nothing even remotely like that.
I'm honestly not really into girls that are overly tan, even doing tanning. I mean, it's really kind of ridiculous. You know,
I bet I could show you a picture of a girl who's very attractive, but hold on. When I met her, she was okay looking. Okay, she's attractive, pretty, got good features. When she came back tan, it looked natural for one thing, 'cause she's really white. Okay, she looked gorgeous.
Oh, I'm sure. But the problem with tanning is that it's sometimes it works really well, other times it doesn't work as well, and you have to deal with them all the time. You have to deal with the mentality, especially if they're in there like going to get, basically raised, darted
You're
at
probably
them.
turned off by the girls that are too tan. I doubt
definitely if they're too tan.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you probably mind a girl that's tan.
It
it looks natural.
I like the girl that is tan, and I know that she was able to do that naturally. Like, she's actually out at a pool, or she's out at
But
something.
hold on now. Laying out by a pool is just as vain as going to a tanning salon. It's just as vain. Let me tell you why. First of all, it's worse on your skin, okay? And keep in mind,
That's not true.
I got 20 years of tanning experience.
No, it's not true. You're looking at the bad science then.
I'm looking at the correct science.
No, the problem is that you got gamma rays that are coming from these tanning bed salons, and they're literally less than 6 inches away from your body. These gamma rays lose their intensity as they go away. So the sun is much further away, obviously, much stronger. But by the time it actually goes through our atmosphere, it's pretty much toned down. When you're getting gamma rays directly pushed into your skin, that is really bad. That's why you do see an escalation in cancer problems with people that go to the tanning salons as opposed to going out naturally tanning.
Let's talk about both things you just said. Okay, you got two type of rays. You got your UVA, UVB. You actually get UVC too. It never makes it to Earth, and it's not in tanning beds. Okay, your UVB ray is your beta ray. Okay, it's the burning ray. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually stronger outdoors than it is indoors. That's the burning ray. It's the damaging ray. Okay, the UVA ray is what gives you your color. Okay. Your body is only designed to tan for how many minutes per day is your body designed to tan for? Because your body is designed to tan. You know that, right? You have a natural self-defense. It's called a tan.
Mm-hmm.
So your body adjusts to UV light and acts accordingly. Because let's just pretend that we were all born with no clothes, right? Let's pretend that the world. Let's go. You're like, because you don't believe in God or Jesus.
No.
So I don't know. So you believe in the kind of like, let's just for layman's terms.
I believe in fact, right?
But you believe in like a kind of a Big Bang theory.
Yes.
Somehow we created, okay? All right. We weren't created with clothes, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's go with your theory, not mine.
Uh-huh.
All right. Your body is designed to protect you from the sun somewhat, to create a self-defense, which is called a suntan, okay? But your body only produces the melanin for 20 minutes per day. Anytime, or maybe 30, okay? But anytime you tan more than that, you're burning your skin cells. You're doing damage, okay? It's called overexposure. All right, tanning beds cut off in like 20 minutes, 12 minutes. Nowadays, the maximum bed would be 30 minutes, but those are very rare. Those are old school, old-timey. So your body, science is taking those 20 minutes that you can tan and produce melanin, okay, the right way, and they're giving you less of the burning rate. Now, the reason they put the burning rate in the tanning bed, okay, is to basically kind of ignite the melanin, okay? It helps produce it, all right? So the UVA ray then comes in and reacts and actually turns you brown. So, with science, they're able to give you just enough of the tanning ray, just enough of the burning ray to get you to activate the melanin, okay, and tan you. And then guess what? The bed cuts off in 20 minutes. It's not overexposure. Anytime you over anything, and there isn't one person that goes out by the pool for 20 minutes and comes back in. Now, I do that, but most people are out there for 2 hours. That means they got an hour and a half of overexposure. Anytime you over anything, overeat, overdrink, it's bad, right? You got to eat to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can overeat, right?
Of course.
It can be bad. Tanning's the same thing. When you're out there for 2 hours, you're doing it. Now, if you tan for 20 minutes outdoors, okay, I'll give you that. That's probably going to be okay. But no one goes out there for 20 minutes and tans, except for myself, okay? I'm sure there are a few out there, but most people are out there for hours. They flip hours. That's how they tan. It's not better. Let me tell you something. If you tan,
whoa. I'm not gonna just let that one pass. It is better.
One last thing.
Less cases of cancer by 30%. On the people that go to the tanning bed.
Let's get into that, okay? Only for the fact of, okay, I got this argument won easily. Let's go back. let's go back 2 things. If you tan out in the summer, July, do you live in an apartment complex before?
Yeah.
You ever had a pool? I guess what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And you might be. Did you play volley? Did you do anything at the pool like fun stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You realize you're out there on a Saturday.
Right.
It's July 4th. You're out there for 8 hours, right? Average person on a Saturday, July 4th, they're out by the pool or at the lake for 8 hours, right? That means you just tan for, let's say in the month of July, you go out for 4 weekends in a row, okay? You just got about probably minimum 40 hours of sun, all right? And you should have had about 80 minutes worth of sun, okay? You just got over 35, 37 hours of overexposure. Do you know if you tan 3 times a week in a tanning bed, 3 times a week, only 20 minutes a session, that's only 52 hours an entire year. It's called moderation, Jimmy. Moderation is the key to this thing.
But the problem is that we we came into existence under a system that worked perfectly for us. We wouldn't be here otherwise. So we have an atmosphere that actually gets rid of a lot of those different UV rays. As I'm reading here, Women who use tanning beds only more than once a month are 55% more likely to develop malignant melanoma, the worst form of deadly skin cancer, than anyone who is out naturally bathing in the sun.
I'm sure I can find just as many arguments.
55%.
I can find just as many arguments that will contradict that.
Yeah, but is it actually coming from like really good sources?
Yes, it is. Oh, do you think?
I would love to actually see that then.
Do you think the tanning industry doesn't spend millions of dollars about all this? You know why?
Oh, yeah, they do. They're trying to make good things come out for the news.
No, let me tell you. Stop it. You guys, now you're nodding your head, Sam. Let me tell you something about the spin here, okay? You know who makes more money than tanning salons? Cosmetic companies. You know how they make their money off the fear. Right now, the fear is being put into these. This is the time of the year.
You know who makes the most money? Oncologists who treat skin cancer.
Let me tell you something on fear. They will bring all these cosmetic places, all these wrinkle creams. There's way more of that money going on than tanning. Okay, they all come out right now and put the fear of God in you with all their studies and stuff, and they Spengali them to make them scare the hell out of you to buy their products because they sell sunblocks, they sell moisturizers, they sell line redefined.
But those are people who have a horse in the race. These are people that are actually trying to sell you something. These are people that are working at a.
Who do you think pays for their studies? Get real. Who do you think pays their studies?
This one was actually developed. This was a government organization that put this one together. So this is actually money that was funded into. Let me see what school this is.
Yeah, into a school who called the government for
University
money.
of Florida.
It all boils down to there's someone behind there making money that's pushing this propaganda. That's what it boils down to.
Propaganda.
That's what it is.
Well, but that's not the case with institutions of higher learning that receive federal grants.
Yeah.
What you're talking about are like when Dow Chemicals has a $5 billion project and they have a secret, location somewhere where people are studying the effects of something for years and years. That's all done.
Oh, I'm sorry. All the schools are so they're politically correct and they don't take money elsewhere. I forgot about that. They don't do studies. You think colleges don't do studies for like major cosmetic companies? Of course they do.
Well,
yeah, they do.
I don't know that to be true,
but I do.
Okay.
No,
well, I'll take your word for it.
They do, but
because I know you're in the business.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the business of all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen research. I have a skincare line.
Hold on, folks. Hi, Pugs here. I jumped in the middle of this. What are you guys talking about? I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
We're arguing about what's safer, tanning indoors or outdoors.
All right, did this all stem from the burnt lady who put her kid in the
Yes,
tanning
he
bed?
did put her kid in the tanning
First
bed.
of all, can we all agree that woman has a problem?
We've already said that.
Then I'm on your side. You are absolutely right. That lady has a problem. Tanning is dangerous if not done in moderation.
There you go.
If
Bingo.
you use it, but it's the same as alcohol. It's the same as any other leisure
We
time
just said all
activity.
that.
Yeah. Now, but there are people out there who, look, I'm the worst guy to tell. I'm Irish, okay? That means I have the complexion of the underbelly of a fish, okay? I am very, I don't like the sun. I'm like a vampire. But there are people out there who have, and they're calling it tanorexic, and I've never heard of this before.
Oh, it's been around for
I've never heard that before.
Tanorexia. She's a tanorexia. It's called tanorexia.
Yeah,
and
basically she has an addiction to tanning.
Yeah, it's like anything else. If someone overdoes it, and this lady is in all my years, I've never seen. I've been in the tanning industry for 20 years now.
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing even remotely close to that. And I was telling Jimmy I would kick that lady out of my salon, never let her come in for that reason.
She's bad for business.
Absolutely,
she is bad for. But that woman, you don't want her coming into your tanning salon.
No.
You don't want people seeing her and going, "Oh my God, is that what happens?" No, you don't know.
Her $100 a month she gives that salon is costing them probably $1,000 a month because people are like turned off by that place.
Well, just in general, people see her at the Walmart and go, "I'm gonna stop tanning." She's just bad for business overall. And here's another thing. Have we seen, Sam, Jimmy, maybe you guys have seen this as well. There have been a lot of interviews with this woman. We're talking about the lady in New Jersey who was arrested and charged with being bad to her kid. I don't know what the exact charge is there in New Jersey. But the charge is that she took her 5-year-old daughter, into a tanning bed, and the kid got a severe sunburn. Now, forget about that. We all know that's wrong. We all know nobody's going to agree that this woman was doing the right thing. And she
hold on, stop. You're going with the assumption she did this. There's nothing but contradiction of what you're hearing.
You're right. I don't even want to get into that story because
that's weird. That's kind of where the story started, though.
Here's what happens, though, with that. When you try and take up for the woman and say, I believe her story that she didn't do it, then you look at her And she loses all credibility. You start to think, this woman does not make good choices in life. I do not fully believe that she didn't bring her kid in there because this woman's got a problem, a mental issue.
We're going to argue from it then because here's my problem. She is the poster child of what not to do and probably how to teach your kid to be tan, okay? I give you that. The problem is because of that, people are assuming that she took the kid in there. There's not one person, quite the opposite, saying the kid went in the tanning room. The person that runs the tanning salon, by the way, tanning is very serious business, okay? The government has stepped in and said, you've got to be 16 years or older to tan. There's a tanning tax now that never existed until about 24 months ago. It's very serious business. The guy that runs that salon said that kid did not go in that tanning room. The father says that kid did not go in that tanning room. There's not one witness saying that kid went in there. They saw a messed up tan chick who with a burnt kid and assumed that kid went tanning.
No, the kid, you are
the
absolutely
kid, 4 years old, by the way,
You are absolutely right. There is no one that says that kid went in there other than the police who are connecting the dots. The kid went to school with a severe burn, and they sent her to the principal's office, and the principal called the police. The principal suspected that there was some form of abuse going on. Now, why did the principal suspect that? Probably because he's seen the mother.
But
you're right. There is no proof.
The people that run the tanning salon that is where this supposedly happened are saying they're saying no, this did not happen. The father's saying it does not happen. How can they just go? People get sunburned. That's a very fair complected child. Did you see the child? The child's like a redheaded kid.
Yeah.
They're like you. They're gonna burn
Freckles
very easily, right?
Yeah, very easily.
So the kid walked out.
My son Mason, who's 2 years old, burns very easily.
It's freaking April. You're gonna walk outside. You don't have a base tan yet. It's April.
Right.
They're in New Jersey, by the way. It's not like Texas where we've been having good weather for the last 3 months.
No,
okay,
it's still not nice there.
My point is, she went out there the first day. She got exposed to the sun out in the garden. She got burnt. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And they throw the mom and Jova a $25,000 bond with not one person saying that this mom did this.
Yeah. Well, nobody thinks she's going to be convicted, and I actually think that the reason she was arrested is secondary now to her physical appearance.
The problem I have with this, my argument is, it goes back to me going to court yesterday.
Yeah.
She had to spend $25,000 to get out of jail, and she might be and probably is innocent in this scenario. She's guilty of bad taste in tanning.
Yes, she has no taste, obviously, if she thinks that looks good. And why is it that I've seen like 5 different interviews with her? She has a different skin tone color in every interview. She is blacker than Wesley Snipes.
Because what happened is this dumbass is probably going, I'm going to be on TV. She's probably getting more tan.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked outside? Now, every one of us has been to the lake, okay? We've all went out there the first time of the year and been very white, okay? Because none of us are like bronze goddesses now. Well, Sam, you're kind of dark complected, dude. You're pretty dark. Is that your natural color?
No, I mean, I might get some sun from driving.
He's got that Hebrew blood.
But you got a natural something
darker
going on here. And I'm a little Indian, so I'm not a white boy like you know what I mean? But my point is, we've all walked out there. Here's what happens. When you go tan, have you ever walked in and go, man, I probably got a little color, and you look up 2 hours later, oh my God, I'm burnt red.
Right.
We've all had that happen, right?
Absolutely.
A tan settles in, okay? Over a course of time, it gets darker and darker and darker, okay? That's why 24 hours later, especially the high UVA content, you'll wake up and be really brown. She is probably went, knowing she's going to be on TV, and went and got her tan on to get ready. And that's why the lady that did the first interview said, here's a picture of her now. She's like, the next day she was even darker than the interview. And that's what this lady probably did, by the way.
Make something perfectly clear here. I am not bashing tanning or tanning salons. I absolutely prefer my women with a little bit of color to them. I do not want a bunch of Nicole Kidmans walking around. Have you ever had sex with a really pale girl?
Dude, I got stories galore.
I mean, I know you're in the tanning business, so maybe not.
No, here's the deal. I've had girls that I
attractive.
really liked that were pretty hot, but I couldn't get past their color, the whiteness. They're like, you're just too white. I'm sorry. This isn't going to work. I work in a tanning salon.
Now, there are some girls that carry it off well. Like, there are some girls who are Norwegian or Swedish who really do look good with the blonde hair,
They do,
blue
but
eyes,
you
and
can't
pale
work
skin.
at it. You can't be in the tanning industry and still live with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
when you're taught and trained, and I do believe with all my heart, because I'm not as much in the tanning world as I used to be. Okay, let's face it, I'm really not.
No.
So my point is, I still think, and I've got girls that I go tan, and they'll come back and look so much better with a tan, a little color.
Do you know what a lot of studies have shown?
What's that?
And Jimmy, maybe you have some of these facts there. I saw you pull up some stuff. That actual tanning beds and going to these tanning places is better for you than actual exposure to the real sun.
Really? That's the study. That's so contrary to what
actual-
this guy's saying. This guy right over here. Right,
Oh, did you say the opposite?
Yeah,
Oh, no, it's
Congress actually just that's what I was reading off of. Is
Okay.
that you actually this is from the National Cancer Institute. This is directly funded by the government from Congress. And you have women that go in, and this is only over one time a month. So you were saying, what, 3 times a week?
Go in 3 times a week in moderation.
So
it's
over
50
one time a month, 55% higher chance of cancer.
Now let me tell you why they're saying the study. Now I'm about to get really
new to
mad here
me.
because this is my livelihood. Okay, I'm still.
I always thought it
OTM.
was the opposite, but maybe
I'm
it was
gonna
because
read
Brandon told me that years ago.
Right.
No, let me tell you why. You're getting it from him who's buying into this other stuff. The government is giving cancer. Okay, I got to fight. I got to cause. Yes, there's skin cancer. It exists. I understand it. There's people that died from it, and bless their hearts. But so someone's going to fight
It's the
it.
number one form of cancer.
So hold on. So here's the deal. So because sun's everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're exposed to it daily. So here's the deal. We're going to go out. And I'm going to fight cancer, okay? I have a reason because I don't like cancer, and I'm going to fight skin cancer, okay? Sure, the government will give me money for my studies to go out there and prove it's so horrible and so bad. The problem with that studies is what it does not tell you, Jimmy, is are they talking about women that never go outside? Are they talking about women that go outdoors all the time? Are they talking about women, or are they talking about women that sit at home? And yes, they go to tanning salons. If a woman sits at home and SPFs her body galore, by the way, and doesn't tan outdoors, and they go to a salon once a month, yes, they have a higher risk of skin cancer. Yes, I give you that. But is that a woman that's also going out to the pool without her sunblock on a regular basis? Probably not.
They are directly comparing people that go to the tanning salon more than one time a month to people that don't. So I mean, like,
They don't. Doesn't mean they go by the pool and hang out for 3 hours.
you were the same person that was just earlier saying, doesn't the average person go to the pool for 8 hours a
Hold on,
day?
Jimmy.
I didn't say. I
Hold
said
on, Jimmy.
as guys.
Let me. I kind of agree with Brandon here. I do think that if you take a person who is going to lay out in their backyard in the noonday sun for how long do you spend in a tanning bed?
20 minutes or less.
For 20 minutes. And I know, being in the Midwest, the first hint of a nice day, everyone was laying out. Everyone. I mean, it was everywhere. That's how you knew it was nice in the
Right.
Midwest. When you'd be driving down the street and you'd see everybody laying in their yards. Now, those people, from what I understand, and again, I might be wrong, but if you are someone who is trying to get a tan, you want a tan, I understand that it is safer to go and do it in a bed than to lay out in your backyard every day for a half hour. Is that what the study is saying? Because it sounds to me like the study is comparing people who tan once a month against people like me who don't do either, who just interact with the natural sun.
The study is being geared to people that are anti-skin cancer. They're going to use the study to support what they want you to see and hear. Okay.
Well, no,
they're going to go get people that don't tan. Period, and go, okay, this because I said what I said. Well, go. That's me and you. We're young people. Okay. Well, I'm not so young anymore, but. When we go to the lake, I don't go to the lake I don't go to the lake anymore at all, okay? But when I did, I'd be out there for 8 hours at a time. I was kind of giving you a comparison of what's worse, okay? They're probably comparing the average 35-year-old woman that works all day long. She goes out to the pool once a year.
I think they're comparing people who go to tanning beds with people who don't.
That's
and those
what-
people who don't also may not tan at all. In
There
any
you
way,
go.
shape,
And
or
I
form.
promise you to do it because they're trying to support what they want you to hear.
Well, I don't know if that's the agenda,
Right.
but,
That
but
is
just
the agenda.
but just by the way it's worded, it does seem a little bit unfair because anyone who would go to a tanning bed is someone who is more likely to spend more time in the sun anyway because they're
Yes.
working on a tan.
There you go. And
They make it a priority.
The people that go to tanning beds also do go out and get exposed to real sun too.
But let me tell you something.
And that's the problem, Brandon, is that the person who does go to this tanning salon is also going to go to the pool.
Probably.
But the,
So,
problem-
yeah.
the problem
To go
is
to the
not
pool.
the indoor
Right.
tanning, though. The problem is not the indoor tanning part.
It's too much exposure.
Actually, the best thing is that the indoor tanning, because they might have been at the pool even more so. They didn't go indoors.
Yeah, it's best to
So
just
that's why
do
it's-
the natural thing and
No.
not do the extra inside tanning.
I'm gonna lose it.
See, I don't agree
Absolutely.
with that. I don't
You're
agree
wrong.
with
I'm
that.
going to lose it.
You don't think that it's better to do the exact same amount of time?
I think I know
Staying-
that I've never been to a tanning bed. Never in my life. I got a spray tan once on the air as a bit for something. And by the way, what about that? What's the problem with that? If people want that golden brown hue, why not the spray tan? That seems like a genius innovation.
Apparently, Congress is in cahoots with the spray tanning
Yeah, they
people
are.
because they're
Well,
saying
no,
that
Congress is
that's
giving-
one of the things that you can do.
Spray tan is listen, it's obviously safer, okay?
Yeah.
As we know.
Until
so
we
far.
find out that the chemicals
Yeah.
melt your body over
What
the
I'm
course of
curious
20
is-
years.
Now, I have a stake. I have a horse in
That's
this
right, you
race
do.
a little bit.
Okay,
but,
yeah. So you,
but,
good full disclosure that
So-
you actually have a patent.
but obviously, there's no UV light involved, okay, in spray tanning. And so it is a natural.
Just
it's-
chemicals.
It's just a safer thing. And as of the day, the chemical that's used in there, it's basically dihydroxyacetone. It's not really. It's been around for years. It's been around for a long time. And as of Now there's not.
I'm
really
certain
kind
for
of
it to be
studies.
okay, it had to have gone through some form of clinical
Oh
testing.
yeah. But it's before tanning.
I'm sure.
Before spray tanning got popular, it was already being used for many other things.
What about
for
the
a long
problem with
time.
color with spray tanning?
The color's gotten
This
a lot
is what
better.
I always hear. Has it?
Oh, way better.
Because
Way
I always
better.
hear people say, "Oh, it's a terrible color," and then I'll see a girl who's all tan, and she'll say it's a spray tan, and I didn't know the difference. It looks good.
It's now. It used to be orange 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Still can be done wrong. You can, there's still a way to do it the wrong way. Okay. You want to get a good formula that gives you the good color, but the biggest problem with spray tan now is like when you don't do it evenly. You stand the wrong way. You ever seen the picture of Roz? I got a video. Hold on. Let's play this. This is awesome. I don't even know why I had this on my phone, but I recorded it off the TV the other day. How cool is this going to be? If you do it the wrong way, there was an episode of Friends. Y'all remember that episode of Friends when Ross is spray tanning?
yeah.
And I had this. Let's play this video real fast. Let's see here. Scroll through my.
How do we play it?
You got to email it to me?
Just can plug it in my phone. Oh, I got to email it to you.
If you want to play the actual video or just audio.
No, I'm gonna play the video. I'll email
Yeah,
it
you
to
have to email it to me.
I'm gonna this is kind of funny. I wish I had this pre-done ahead of time then for this reason, but I'll email it to Jimmy here.
Why don't you get it all set up, and we'll fill time here for a little bit.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Because I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Jimmy, can you lean behind you and hand me my computer over there?
Yeah.
Hi, folks. How you doing? It's Pugs back again for another day. Hi, Sam. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello.
Did you guys cover it all yet, the Waco story about the Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Oh, is this the people that were? Oh God.
I heard you talking about the castration story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to hear a little bit of that. I was over at a friend's having lunch in their office, and we pulled up the show and we were listening.
This is incredibly embarrassing. Ricky Gervais actually tweeted this out. I think it was like a couple days ago. Was it the ones they were saying something that was what was it that they were trying to deny with Bill Nye there?
The Holocaust?
Was that what it was?
I don't know.
Oh, I was like, what is Bill Nye talking about the Holocaust for? No, it was something to do with it was some type of obvious scientific fact
Right.
that he brought up, and then apparently people were just up in an uproar and started booing Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, like probably the least booable person that there is.
Oh, yeah, completely. Now, interesting. I learned something about Bill Nye recently that, you always think, what do you think Bill Nye's background is?
I know he wanted to be an astronaut.
Like, did you think he was a real scientist?
Well, yeah, I thought so.
You kind of assume that, right?
Yeah.
No, he was like an improv actor and a comedian and all this stuff who had an interest. God, I just read a story about someone that he was in an improv troupe with who went on to be famous. This person is famous now, and I'm sorry that I can't remember the name. I hate when I do this. But it was somebody who was famous, and they were talking about the people they started out with. And Bill Nye, who went on to be the science guy, was one of the guys. And he
Wow.
just, like many of us do in life, an opportunity comes up, and we say, all right, yeah, I'll try that. And he started doing a little segment where he was this goofy guy teaching kids how to do simple science experiments, and it took off. And now he's Bill Nye, the freaking science guy. And at some point in his life, he had to go, my dream was to be on Saturday Night Live. All right, this is paying.
Yeah.
At some point you make these choices in life.
Wow.
Bill Nye, hold on, let me pull up the story here so I can find it. Got to sign into Facebook.
Yeah, I know that
never sign out.
one of the things that I did know, and I assumed that he had gone to school and everything, so I always felt bad for him. But he applied
he
to be.
probably has a science major or something that would lend to, but that wasn't his intention to be this guy. He wanted to be something else.
Huh. Yeah, he basically applied to be an astronaut every year for NASA and got rejected each time. Even at the peak of his career, NASA was still not paying attention to his application.
Now you remember him, right, from growing up?
Oh yeah, this was one of the few things I did watch.
Sam and I, we don't remember him. He wasn't around when we were kids growing up, right, Sam?
Who, Bill Nye?
Bill Nye?
Yeah.
He came into the public consciousness when we were already in our 20s and probably 30s. That's the difference in our age right now. My Facebook page is not. Is the internet running slow today?
Yeah, it always does. I think it just ran slow for a minute on me too.
All right, so basically, Bill Nye the Science Guy goes down to all right, here we go. Goes down to Waco, all right, and he's participating in a series of lectures.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was brought up, or one of the things that he was talking about, was the environment and astronomy. You know, it's just a real simple. This is Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bring your kids. Let's learn a little something and have some chuckles at the same time. Not supposed to be heavy conversation. Not supposed to be anything that gets combative.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts talking about the sun and the moon. And he talks about how the sun is, you know, the only great light in the sky and, you know, all of that stuff. And hold on, my computer just started to work now, so let me see if I can pull this up. And he starts asking questions about the moon. And saying, well, what do you think about the moon? And kids start answering questions. All right, here's the story. Bill Nye, the harmless children's edutainer, known as the Science Guy, managed to offend a select group of adults in Waco, Texas at a presentation when he suggested that the moon does not emit light, but instead reflects the light of the sun. Okay. This is basic science that everyone learns in earth science class when you're in the 5th grade. The moon is not a ball of gaseous energy that's exploding and producing light. It's not. The moon is a barren rock that is just floating out there. Look at the look. You know, if you think the moon emits light, look at any of the landing footage from Apollo 11.
Right.
It's pitch black except for the lunar module spotlights that they're using to illuminate everything. There is no light on the moon. It's pitch black.
Moonwalk would have looked quite a bit different, too, if it was actually a big fiery ball of gas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, how are you going to land on a big fiery ball of glass that's, you know, glowing? Okay, so this is basic earth science knowledge. Someone decided to quote the Bible, in order to argue with Bill Nye the Science Guy. Oh, man. Apparently Genesis 1:16, which reads, God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. Well, all right, I'm willing to go along. If we're going to believe in this super deity that created everything, yeah, okay, God did create all of this stuff. God created the heavens and the earth, and that's fine. But you got it wrong here, folks, because we now have actual facts about what the moon is. We know what the moon is, and the moon is not an emitter of light. The moon looks like it's glowing at night to us in the darkened sky because the sun is on the other side of the world and it's reflecting against the moon. The moon is a giant reflector. And these people in Waco would have none of this talk. None of this talk. It says, at this point, several people in the audience stormed out in a fury, one woman yelling, "We believe in God!" and left with 3 children, thus ensuing that people across America would read about the incident and conclude that Waco is truly the nutty place we've always believed it to be. What can you do with these kinds of people? God loved the Christians. I've got no problem with it. I was born Catholic. I'm a lapsed Catholic. I'm a bit agnostic right now, but I do not have a problem with people who have found their faith. Good for you. I hope someday that I can find something that fulfills me to that same level. I haven't yet. Porn ain't doing it, folks. But my Lord, you must, no pun intended, you must acknowledge that there are certain things that we now know to be true that the Bible contradicts. Just give that to us.
Yeah. It's this is such a soft spot for me right now because like my entire family is incredibly religious. You know what I mean? Which
Do they
is
believe
very
that the
weird.
moon emits light?
No, they're not. They're not crazy. You know, they're not totally crazy. But you know, it's one of those things that like every single time that I go out with my dad, we'll end up having like a bit of an argument. You know, and like we'll both like try not to talk about it, and then all of a sudden we'll end up getting into it.
Have this conversation with your Christian father then.
Yeah.
And ask him. I would say, Dad, Genesis, do you believe everything in the Bible?
See,
What would he say?
That's the part where like it's harder to fight with him because he basically throws that whole thing out and he's like, nah, you know, he's basically.
Okay, so he acknowledges that the Bible isn't to be taken literally,
Right, yeah.
and that there are some things that are written in the Bible that were true at the time because they didn't know any better.
Right.
But now we know better. We've evolved. We understand things more. I just don't. How would you, folks? Tell your Christian friends. Just say to them, look. Actually, find a preacher or someone, you know, and ask them about Genesis 1:16. God created 2 great lights, and ask him if he knows that's wrong, and what does he think of that?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get more definitive than that. Okay, you believe the Bible. I'm respectful of that. But let me ask you this. The Bible tells us in Genesis 1:16 that God made 2 great lights, one to govern the day, in the other, the moon to govern the night. Do you believe that is true in Genesis? And then take the conversation from there and just see where it goes. Because at some point, you just can't argue with these people. There's nothing left to be said. It's like saying, do you believe that I'm a white male sitting here? No.
No.
No, you're not. What do you mean no? What do you mean no?
It's become my favorite thing to do now. Instead of actually asking them about certain things that they may or may not believe in, if they say that they're Christian, I'll be like, so what do you really believe? Like, and I'll just let them explain it to me. And if they start actually talking about it, most of the time I'll be able to pinpoint the exact moment that they were like, this sounds crazy.
All right, here's another thing that I wanted to talk about here. Another quick story we'll get into. Did you hear about this BMW motorcycle problem? Dude in, I believe it's San Diego, is suing BMW motorcycles because he took a test drive on one and had an erection for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It says, while an extended state of arousal after a motorcycle ride might sound like typical rhetoric of the two-wheeled crowd, one man is now suing BMW Motorcycles USA, excuse me, and the maker of an aftermarket seat after a motorcycle ride left him with an erection that wouldn't go away. The California man is claiming that a BMW motorcycle and a dealer-installed custom seat are responsible for causing priapism, which we all know is an erection that lasts more than 4 to 8 hours.
Wow.
Because of all the commercials. He says here, the Beamer owner doesn't find this issue to be a laughing matter. The suit was filed in the Superior Court of San Francisco County. Sorry, I thought it was San Diego. And seeks damages for lost wages, personal injury, medical expenses, product liability, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. Rather than, let's see here, what else is it? The plaintiff was, all right, here's the exact story, okay? This is what he says happened. Plaintiff, that's Mr. Erection. Plaintiff was riding his 1993 BMW motorcycle equipped with a Corbin Pacific seat. The ride lasted approximately 2 hours each way to the plaintiff's destination, after which the plaintiff developed a severe case of priapism, a persistent and long-lasting erection. Plaintiff alleges that this condition was caused by the ridge-like seat on the motorcycle, negligently designed, manufactured, and or installed by the defendants. Plaintiff now suffers from priapism and has been experiencing continuing problems since his motorcycle ride. He's now unable to engage in sexual activity, which, what? That would be the one thing you would be able to do.
Yeah. I would think anyway. I mean, like, that's what I was thinking immediately. Is that, like, does it go away after you have sex?
Unless you can't get laid because you're always, introducing yourself to a girl with a raging boner.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to.
That might be a problem.
Yeah.
He has problems with sexual activity. He's distraught and distressed. The defendants are liable due to their negligent design, manufacture, and or installation of the seat. Okay, so this went on, I think I said 6 months. I don't know if it's still going on, but where did it say? All right, so now...
horrible problem. I mean, like, that really is a horrible problem to have. I mean, just to have
constant
that
erection?
all the time. Yeah.
How do you urinate?
Everything's bad.
Well,
sitting
I guess
down at the toilet, even, you have to deal with where that thing's going to go.
Full disclosure, I'm Irish, so I have the curse. It wouldn't be that big of a problem for me. It would just be like having a roll of certs in my front. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. But if you were a man of some girth, a man of some significance, then yeah, it could probably be a problem.
But even just rubbing up against your jeans all day is going to be really annoying, isn't it? I mean, like, just constantly having to deal with that.
I don't have that problem. I, wear some nice cotton undies.
Yeah. Oh man, that is just. And you have no, you aren't holding your cards to yourself at that point. If it's at any point that it's noticeable, you introduce yourself to a girl like we were talking about. You're like, hey, nice to meet you. She looks down, obviously.
Yeah.
You
Not
know?
with me. She wouldn't notice. But with other people, yeah, it could be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So he's claiming basically, I guess, the vibration or whatever it was caused. But why wouldn't it go away?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it go away?
I can't figure out how this actually happens. I mean, does that happen to an extent where people do have this for months at a time? Does it go away for a little bit?
Priapism is real. I mean, it was real even before ED drugs came out. But I've never heard it being caused by a ride on a motorcycle.
And does it ever go away? Like, at times, does it go away?
I don't know.
Roll over in the middle of the night and...
Boy, man. That's a Google search. Treatments for priapism. Let's find out what they got to do. I mean, couldn't you drain it somehow? I mean, could you go to a doctor and couldn't they take blood from it? It's blood.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like maybe if you froze it, you'd be able to like thin the veins that are down there, the vessels. But then you're dealing with freezing your. That's just an area that I don't want to have to do my own work on. So yeah.
No, that's not a feel-good moment.
Way to go, BMW. Apparently they got a seat that some people might be interested in.
All right, here's another thing I wanted to mention. Brandon will be back here soon. We'll resume the conversation we were having. Anybody here like drinking games?
Yeah, on occasion I do.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I've been going to bars now for about 20 years. Okay? The one thing before I was able to go to bars was that we had house parties.
Right.
Listen, everybody would come over. There'd be a keg in the utility room. And at some point in the night, everyone would be sitting around the kitchen table. And if you know me from my bar experiences, you know I find a place to perch, and I just sit there and try and hold court. That's it. I don't mingle. I'll just sit, and, I'll find my good seats. That's why I always thought life for me would be better in a wheelchair, because I would always have my seat. And I'd get respect. People respect the dude in a wheelchair, But at any rate, I love the drinking game. And I used to be an absolute champion at quarters. There wasn't any. Kids would come from other high schools to our parties, and they'd always bring the guy that was going to challenge me, and I'd be sitting at the table, and I'd roll off a couple, from the mouth or, across the room, all that. I mean, seriously, I was a loser. I did nothing but practice quarters all day, trick shots and all kinds of stuff. I mastered the mouth, which blew people away. And I'm such a bad hustler. That was always my opening. Like, really? You want to play quarters with me?
And I'd go right for it.
I'd go right for it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, like you normally do.
Yeah.
So I'm a big advocate for the drinking games. And I won a lot. So I wasn't excessively getting drunk. But, they're fun. They're social. There is no funner part of the house party than where the drinking games are raging.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's where everyone is laughing. Everybody is having fun. I mean, they're just perfect. And when I started going to bars, I sort of like missed that aspect. That, why couldn't you have a bar that would have like a drinking game section? And when I was a bartender, we started a thing called the Bar Olympics, which was people would come in and you had different table stations and you had to be timed. You had to do all of these. You had to participate in these different drinking games at all these tables, and then the last one was like this absurd math question. Like you had to sit and actually try and figure out. But that got shut down because, there are laws. You can't, not like in Texas. You couldn't even try that in Texas.
Right.
But we were able to do it and advertise it for almost a year in Chicago
wow.
before the city went, we got a problem with this excessive, promotion.
So it wasn't even something you had to stay quiet about.
No. But there is a new drinking game out there. We mentioned quarters, with also rounders, battleship.
Flip cup.
I don't know what flip cup is. Name game,
You
beer
never
pong.
played flip cup?
No, I don't know what flip cup
Beer
is.
pong.
Real quick, you're on a table and everyone has cups, and you have to, they're upside down like this part, and you have to flip it and get it to stand straight up. And then the winner, what is it? The winner has to drink the beer real quick?
It's a race to the end. So you
Yeah.
got like 3 or 4 people on each side of the table, and then basically you put a cup bottom on the bottom on the actual thing, and then you got to flip it to where the brim of the cup ends up falling down straight down. And then when you do that, the next person has theirs filled up with a little bit of beer. They got to drink the rest of that and then flip it. So by the time it gets to the end of the table, whatever team is losing, they have to drink all the rest of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I've never played that.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
either
fun.
that's either. See, here's the thing: there are regional drinking games.
Right.
You go to different parts of the country and you learn. A lot of times they're the same game. They just have different, names.
Right.
Different part of the country. Do any of you remember the game Thumpers? Sam, do you remember Thumper?
Never heard of it. We used to play a drinking game called Assholes.
Yeah, Asshole's a game. Yeah, we've played that. But Thumper is the game with your hands where you do signs.
Never heard of
Jimmy,
it.
do you know what Thumper is?
Thumper, nuh-uh.
Man, see this Thumper. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I just taught my 2.5-year-old how to play Thumper. And we play Thumper together. We don't play it with alcohol. We just play it back and forth as two people.
You should. You'll get him to go to sleep earlier.
No. But a Thumper is basically, you start out, everyone, here, try to put the microphone down here. Everyone goes like this. Everyone pats the table. what's the name of the game? And everyone says thumper. How do we play it? And everyone yells, with beers. And why do we play it? To get drunker. And then you say, show your signs. And then everybody stops. And look at me now. Everybody's got a sign. My standard thumper sign is this. It's always been this. It is never this. Your sign might be like that. Your sign might be like that. Your sign might be that. You know, whatever it is. But here's how it works. Okay. Let's try a quick round of thumper. Okay. Sam, come up with a sign. Show me what your sign is. You don't have to give that much thought to it. Yeah, peace. Okay. Brandon, give me your sign. What's that?
I don't know.
3 like that. All right. Brandon's like this. All right. Mine is like this.
Thumbs up.
And your thumbs up.
Yeah.
So Sam is peace. All right, so here's what we do. Everybody, what's the name of the game?
Thumper.
How do we play it? With beers.
With beers.
And why do we play it?
To drink, get drunk.
To get drunker. There you go. Okay. Signs. Everybody show their signs. All right, I start. Back to thumping. You got to keep thumping
Okay.
so your hands are busy while you're playing. All right, now, I will do my sign, and then I will do someone else's sign. The person whose sign I do has to repeat their sign and then do someone else's sign. And you go around the table until someone screws up, and that person who screws up has to drink. I taught this to my 2.5-year-old, so he's got it, so I know that you guys can get it, okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. I'll start, all right?
Okay.
My sign, someone else's sign.
I didn't see what. Thumbs up.
Did you do yours first?
I gotta do mine first.
Drink.
Yeah.
Drink.
See?
All right.
So I didn't know-
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's how you play Thumper.
Nice.
There's a new game that is in New Zealand. And tell me if this doesn't sound like the most idiotic. There must not be shopping malls in New Zealand. Because
No.
I'm telling you, it's called Possum. And here's how the game is played. It's real easy. Anyone can play it. Get a case of beer, climb a tree, drink till you fall out.
Oh.
Wow. That's. Or do you pee from the tree also as you're drinking?
Yeah.
Just pull out and pee.
You do not come out of the tree until you either finish the case or you've fallen out of the tree.
That's hilarious.
Do they have nothing to do? First of all, think of the first. Hey man, you want to play possum? Yeah, all right. It's gonna take about 5 hours.
Do possums live in trees?
Yeah. They live in
We
trees
have
and
them
they hang
all over the
trees.
place here, and I always like, where do the hell those things live at? They're living in trees, up there with the squirrels.
They live in. I think they live in trees. They live in. They live out. They hang out in trees. That's why you see possums hanging. From
It's
trees.
weird when you see, like, I remember in my last in Addison, I had a house, and here's this big ass possum running up the damn on the top of the fence. Like, how'd that thing even get up there? I
They're
don't know if they
ugly.
crawled. They're scary looking.
Yes, they are.
I always have on my back porch whenever I get lazy and put my trash bag on the porch and don't take it all the way to the trash can. I'll be at my watching TV, chilling out, and I'll hear there's blah, 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 just like someone's breaking into my damn back door, and it's always two possums out there fighting each other.
And they don't even have the decency to be cute like raccoons. At least raccoons
Well,
are
I don't know.
cute.
The little bitty possums are kind of cute. The small ones,
Baby possums.
I've got one on video, which I can't. I thought we could put my video on all the time.
Isn't a baby any living organism
Right.
cute?
little dogs and their babies? All dogs are cute and their babies.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to do this, but we got a breaking thing happening. A weekly segment we're gonna be adding to this.
Okay.
Because we're all, hey man, we're all single guys, all four of us. How
Yeah, we
about
are.
that? Is that normal for when you put four guys together? They're all.
I thought you weren't single. I thought you were in a
No, I'm single. So is that normal? I mean, I'm not married regardless. So is it normal that when you have four guys sitting around, the odds are they're all single? That's not normal.
Well, you know what?
We're kind of like the Big Bang Theory guys.
Here's what I think. I think it's more normal when you have guys socializing together. I think it's more likely that they will all be single than married because married guys or guys in relationships don't get to hang out with the boys.
That's true, but I mean, sometimes there's always somebody has a girlfriend. You know what I mean, typically.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like the Y&R guys. One guy I know has a girlfriend for sure. I don't know about the other two. I don't know about Joey and Austin, but I know Patrick does. Well, here's the deal. We all, as single guys, we all have to cook for ourselves typically, correct?
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to do a single man's cookbook for a while. And so I've been experimenting in the kitchen as I do every once in a while when no one's around to cook for me. And I've created what I think is the ultimate sandwich of all time.
Ooh, I love to hear this.
I think
All
this
right.
is like the best thing I've ever created.
All right, if it's a good sandwich, then we'll call Weinbergers. We'll put it on the menu because they do
I want to
that.
have
I've
my
had menus,
sandwich.
but I've had sandwiches
Now,
I've created.
Jimmy,
put
I
on
need
the
you to pull the
menu.
recipe up on your webfactoryme.com email because I put the recipe. I think it's important to put the recipe up there, and we're going
Sure.
to talk about it. And to save time, I pre-prepared it. We won't go to the kitchen, which I think in the future we should go to the kitchen and watch us cook it. So let me get that. Let Jimmy pull it up. Now you guys discuss what you like in a sandwich as I walk down and get the rest of the ingredients real fast.
He's gonna go get the sandwich, but I'm gonna tell you, I also create sandwiches. I'm a sandwich freak. I love sandwiches. That's why I'm so embedded with Weinbergers. I created a sandwich, dude. It's French toast as the bread. Oh, it is fantastic. It is ham. It is turkey. It is cheese. It is a white cheese, like a melted Swiss cheese, and a tomato melted on top of it, served on French toast with a little bit of syrup on top of it, and you eat it with a knife and fork. The condiments, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of mayo. It is unbelievably good.
Really?
If you've ever had, people are like, that sounds like a Monte Cristo. It's a tweaked Monte Cristo. It's a little different. But yeah, it's awesome.
Wow.
So here's Brandon. He is back with his
so here's the deal.
kick-ass sandwich of the day.
Yeah, can you put my recipe up online? Did you find it yet?
Wait, did you want me to put the text on there?
Oh, it's important to put like they do on the real shows. They put the little ingredients up there.
Oh, I need to know that beforehand so I can make a graphic.
Okay,
with
it's
the
okay.
Software.
We'll just go. You can find it on our website. Can we put this recipe up later on the website? Okay, I think it'll be important for our listeners. First of all,
Facebook page. We start using that Facebook page.
Yeah, there we go.
We should all start telling our friends that it exists. I was looking at it. I had a meeting with a friend earlier today, and I was showing him all this stuff. And the Facebook page, we need to jack that bitch up because that's gonna be fun.
And it's okay if you get crumbs everywhere. Okay.
Ooh, I didn't know we were actually gonna get food.
Oh yeah. Jimmy, I'd like you to try one, please. Sam, grab one there. All right, guys, go ahead and take your little gander there. Okay. Now, what this concoction is take a bite.
Let me see if I can figure out what it is.
Okay.
Is that ground beef?
It's ground. Yes. It's a certain kind of. It's turkey.
A turkey beef.
Yes.
Ground turkey.
Yes.
Okay, that's very good. Is there some kind of bacon in there?
Yeah. Now that's turkey bacon.
So this is all turkey products.
Yeah, trying to keep in theme.
Okay.
But what I've done is I've applied a little bit of Caribbean jerk to it. Okay, my marinade right there. I've also added my Lowry seasoned salt right there. Lowry seasoned salt.
Every bachelor has to have the seasoned salt.
The Hellman's low fat mayonnaise. Okay, very very low fat compared to the real mayonnaise. Do not use real mayonnaise. Then I've taken some wheat bread. I've toasted it. And I've added 3 strips of bacon across the top, my turkey bacon, and
it's all healthy, low-fat stuff except for the sodium content, which is probably through the roof.
So good.
It is really good.
Jimmy?
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good sandwich.
Sam?
Yeah, it's good.
Y'all can say if you don't like it, because I'm going to bring stuff you're not going to like, so be honest about it.
Hold on.
Very tasty, right? This is like my new ultimate snack of choice. What I'll do is I'll buy for about $3.48 at Walmart. You can buy the meat already ready to go. It'll make probably about 4 sandwiches. Easily 4 sandwiches. Then I go buy my seasonings, some other stuff. This stuff will last quite a while, and takes me about probably. I like to slow. You want to slow cook your meat, and it takes about 15 minutes to cook the meat, maybe 20. But then I'll put the leftover in the freezer. Come back to it later. Reheat it up in the microwave. The bacon strips, the turkey bacon, I just throw in the microwave for 1 minute and 45 seconds, about 3 strips. Put a piece of paper towel on bottom and one on top, and there you go, man. It's the ultimate snack, and it's very, very tasty.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I could probably eat 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I didn't make that much.
Well,
but anyway, so this is the single man's. I think the new way to cook for single men right here. This is it. You just need a basic skillet and you're good to go, and a toaster.
You need a microwave and a Foreman grill. That's it. That's all a man needs.
You don't want to use the ground meat on a Foreman grill though.
No, why not?
Wouldn't it fall off or slide off?
I make hamburgers all. Well, you make them in patties. You put them in
and
patties.
You're putting seasoning on. You're putting your Caribbean jerk on there.
Yeah.
I haven't found a single project that the foreman can't take care of.
Yeah, I was gonna say I make burgers on the
See,
Foreman.
I don't make them. I don't like the patty. I like to make it chopped up though. I like the small little pieces of meat like that.
Oh, so you like more of like a loose meat?
Yes, loose meat. Yes.
Okay.
All right. More of a flaccid state of mind.
I like it. It's good. I'd have made it a patty. I'd have thrown some cheese on there because I put cheese on everything. When I open my refrigerator and I'm trying to make something and there ain't cheese to jazz it up, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, everything else has been nullified.
Right. Damn, that ain't gonna be good with no cheese.
The cheese is good, but it's gonna add a lot of calories though.
All right, let me give you another kick-ass breakfast sandwich that I created. All right.
Hold on, we should say this for another segment because we need this daily.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe not daily, but like weekly at least. Yeah. I mean, we need to take it one step at a time because we'll just knock out everything we know. I don't know a lot. I've only got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, man.
You know, it's funny. You say that the single man's cookbook. I'll tell you, I've been a single man a couple of times in my life, And the one thing that is great about being in a relationship is that there is always food. There is always food, man.
That's why I always get really big when I'm in relationships every time.
And you know what the best part is? Date a woman who has a kid. Because then there's always food and there's always snacks. There's always, oh my God. I dated this girl, Tammy, for a couple of years, and she had 2 kids. And I love those kids, 2 little daughters, 2 great little daughters. That's where I learned what the my favorite snack in the entire world to this day is, the Uncrustable. You ever had the Uncrustable?
Yes. No, what's that?
Holy crap. It is the world's greatest pre-made Smucker's PB&J sandwich.
Pre-made.
Pre-made. They come in little wrappers. You unwrap the wrapper and you eat it. It's almost like a Hostess cake or something. They are so good. And here's what's great about it. I can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to save my life because I'm an obnoxious, heavy guy who has the entire jar of peanut butter and the entire jar of jelly, and I use too much peanut butter and I use too much jelly because I'm making it and I'm big and I want a lot, and then I eat it and I'm like, oh, there's too much jelly and peanut butter. Smucker's has it down, man. They know exactly how much peanut butter should go, how much. It's just the perfect mix. Uncrustables.
They run it through a system of like all different types of computers.
Yes.
To make sure that they got it just
years
right.
and years of lab testing has come up with this design, this formula for the perfect sandwich.
See, you guys are stoked about the kid. I get mad because I'm like, if that kid wasn't around, I like kids by all means, but if that kid wasn't around, there wouldn't be so much junk food around to eat. And I'll eat the junk food. But if I don't have it around, I don't have to have it. I don't go, man, I wish I had a candy bar. I don't think about it if it's not around.
I never even realized it, but the one time that I was dating a girl that had a kid, I didn't connect the two. But when you said that, immediately it snapped in my head because
there's always stuff in the pantry.
Oh,
yeah,
just galore.
I had so many different snacks just in the middle of the night. Like I would go over there and be like, man, she really pigs out. This is good.
Like, for instance, and here's the other thing that I always liked. I could open that freezer any day I wanted to go in there, and there would be ice cream. There's never ice cream in my freezer. My freezer hasn't had ice cream
Because you
since
buy the
last time.
necessities.
Right, yeah. And I shop quick, and I just, all right, I'm going to eat. I shop when I'm hungry. If I'm hungry. And that's the worst time to shop because you buy crap.
Now, you have a kid, okay? Now, I've had a kid around from an assistant and also people I've dated and stuff. Man, do you not... Are you very money conscious? Are you the kind of person that's always aware of every dollar, or are you the kind of person that blows it?
I think you know that.
Okay,
No,
but there was a time in your life.
No, there was a time in my life I was very generous with my money.
Carefree.
I was very,
Man, I can't. I'm not like broke or nothing, but I can't help but notice when I spend money on something, and the kid eats about 10% of it, and the rest goes to waste. I can't help that just a little bit of that bugs me a little bit still. You know.
But that's why you talking about it in restaurants, or you talking?
No, in general period here at the house, I gotta have this, and they open up, and it gets thrown around on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, my kid is notorious for this, and I hate it.
I've experienced it actually. Now I think about it.
He'll grab an apple out of the refrigerator. He'll take one little 2-year-old bite from the apple, and then just put it down and leave it there, and it'll go brown, and one bite from the apple. That's it. That's all he'll do. Same with bananas. It's like, dude, you got to eat the whole thing, but then you don't want to put that kind of pressure on them because then they turn into overeaters.
Yeah, little fatties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's how is Mason's weight? He's normal boy, right?
He's a big boy. He is.
But he's not fat.
He's still not considered fat, but he's close to being heavy for his size.
He's what, 3 right now?
3. He'll be 3 in 2 weeks.
Okay. Now I've watched him and watched him
in a week.
mangle some McDonald's.
Yes.
Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
There was one day in
They
particular.
play with their food. That's what kids do.
One day in particular, I was in the hallway at the old Rational, whatever station that was.
Sure.
And I remember coming out, when y'all walked out, it looked like a war had broken out. There was mayonnaise or something all over the place. There was French fries everywhere. I felt like I was part of war.
I woke up. I took a nap on the couch. Actually, I wasn't even supposed to be taking a nap. He was sitting there. It was early in the morning. It was probably like 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and I was laying on the couch, and he was watching cartoons and stuff and just playing there, eating the cereal. I closed my eyes for a couple of minutes, and I woke up, and I hear like things going on in the kitchen, and I walk into the kitchen, and you know what he found, and you know what he did? He put on my shoe. He went and grabbed one of my big shoes, and he found all the ketchup packets that I have in the refrigerator, and he laid them out on the floor, and he was stomping up and down on them, making the ketchup go everywhere.
Part of that makes you proud as a dad, doesn't it?
I loved it. I was like, that. Now that is just freedom. That is someone who has no inhibitions. He sees something, he thinks that would be cool. When you're adult, we put all of these barricades in our life to stop us from doing things.
Oh,
that
I
we
still
initially
no.
think would be
I still
fun.
do a lot of those things, dude.
Yeah, well, it's-
I still experiment. I got myself shot with a BB gun just recently for that kind of experimentation. So,
really.
yeah, I wanted to see
hear that
how bad it would hurt, and I was shooting through T-shirts, a bunch of them. Like, oh, I can't really feel that. So then I just kept removing the T-shirts and shooting I have a Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah.
And I started removing to figure out where the pain would be. And boy, I kind of got a little ballsy and removed a few too many, and boy, it hurt. I mean, I shot my gun on my point on with probably about 5 T-shirts to block it. And, oh, it hurt so bad.
When you were a kid, did you have BB gun fights?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we've
So
talked
you've
about
been
that.
shot
Oh
before. I've
man,
been
many a
shot a
times.
billion
Oh, been lots
times.
of wars, lots of BB wars.
Oh.
Hard streets of South Dallas over there. It's a good thing to be BB wars, not the real wars, the other kind of wars.
I got shot with a pepper gun once.
What is a pepper gun?
A pepper gun is it shoots like little pellets that they break your skin, and it's just like a pepper or a spice in there, and
I've heard of them.
and it inflames you. Yeah, we were messing with trains, and one of the guys on the train took out a gun and shot me as I was running down the hill.
Oh, wow.
Shot me right in the back, right here, like boom, and oh, did that burn? Had a big welt.
I was all about the BB wars until my face right here got shot up one time. Just the guy was just right on me, just nailing me, and like
Shooting
oh,
you in the
that's-
head? Were you wearing goggles?
No, we always start with goggles, and you'd always pull because we had the BMX
that
goggles.
kid.
We would always start with the goggles on the BMX goggles from our helmets, and we'd pull them off because you couldn't see real well; they get fogged up. And so this kid was just boom, 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 boom. I was like, God dang! And I just pop, pop. And he was right on. I didn't realize he was that close. He was behind a tree, and it's just, and I was done. Like, man, that was so. See, if you look, one of my
What was
eyes,
he doing? He could have blinded you.
I know, but do you see my eye? Like, one of my eyes has a scar. Do you see the scar right there or there?
You know, these are the stories that
okay.
make me wonder
Um,
if Darwin may have been wrong. You know, like maybe that's not how we're supposed to survive. You
Well,
know?
I've had some incidents where I have a scar right there. That's from all the things you hear about as a kid. I've had happen to me, like the stories that you're supposed to be scared
Scar
of.
stories. Scar stories are good.
I was taking a knife and popping my BMX number plate off of. You know the twisty ties that are so hard to cut off. And
Yeah.
you zip them and they're
Yeah.
real tight. And I was doing the pop it thing, and I took my lock blade knife and I go pop straight in. Let me show you. You see where that's at? That's the point, or it's there. That's the point. The blade I felt on my eyeball.
It's right here.
It's
right there.
No. It's up in the top part.
I see something. Then you're jacked up around your eyes.
Yeah.
'Cause you got a couple of
There's a
things.
scar somewhere right through here in one of my eyes. Small. Anyway, you can't
it's
see.
not real noticeable.
Anyway, it hit, and I was like, oh my god, another 1/10 of an inch, and that was my eyeball because I hit it hard. I did it hard. You know,
Yeah.
when you're forcing that thing to go boom like that, just straight up, and I was like, holy cow! And then I've you know, like I said, a BB wars, the face shot up. That could have been my eyeball very easily. You know, we anyone ever do the BBs in the you put them in the plastic spoon, you pop them, BBs like that. You take the plastic spoon and you pop BBs at people. We did that to my sister, and it wasn't me. I got blamed for it. It wasn't me. But my buddy popped my sister, and it went in her eye, and it got in the eyelid.
Oh, see,
she
this-
had a BB lodged in her eyelid for like 4 days, and it was in so much pain, like there's nothing there. She went to the doctor and go, you got a BB in your eyeball, in your eyelid.
What are you doing? This is what I mean. I know I'm an adult, but even back when I was 12 years old, I knew to stay away from that kid. The kid that didn't have enough sense to not shoot you in the face with a BB gun. That kid. That was the kid that also lost a finger at some point in life because he wanted to hold the M80 too long.
Dude, I tell
You
you,
know?
this, I tell you this. One of the scariest stories that I've lost a couple friends to gunshots. Okay, one kid was like the innocent kid shoot the other kid by accident. He died in 6th grade. My buddy held a gun to his head, joking around like he was going to commit suicide. He pulled the trigger. And let me tell you something. The gun went off and went through my buddy's dresser. The bullet went through the dresser. You realize how he was that close to killing himself. I got a picture on my Facebook that shows my buddies holding guns. We were like in 7th grade.
Okay, but you see, my problem here is, how old were you?
We were like in 7th, 8th grade.
What were you doing with access to a real gun in 7th or 8th grade? This is why
That's where I
people-
grew up, man. Just the way it was.
Okay, the way it was, and he almost died. And if he had died, it's just the way it is.
Well, my
He
friend
died.
did die. I've got a couple friends that have died from guns, but
This is why people want gun laws, so that kids. Because you know what? I guarantee you, whoever got that gun, whose gun was it? Somebody's dad.
Here's the
I bet
deal.
you that dad goes around saying, "I'm a responsible gun owner."
no, that dad unfortunately got up and left town on the family, and it's kind of a bad scenario. The gun was left behind, and it's just one of those things where things get left behind in divorces, and
Horrifying. Kids playing with guns.
it
even
was
BB
dangerous. It was
guns.
stupid, but I did grow up in a different kind of neighborhood. That's part of it right there, though.
Well, what do you mean a different type of?
Well, first of all, we had guns innocently at that time in 7th grade, but there were kids that had guns they bought to use for real, to shoot people. You know what I mean? To rob banks, or not banks, but to rob stores. I remember my classmates went around one time before school. Before school, dude, they got up about 8 o'clock in the morning and went up and down a road called Buckner Boulevard, Bruton and Buckner Road. It's over in the Pleasant Grove. They robbed about 5 stores in the morning time because it was like the day they brought the cash by. And then they went to school. And one of them made the mistake of spending like $10,000 on a mini truck, paid cash for it, and that's how they got caught. But they just went around robbing. That's just it's just the way it was.
Bad kids.
You know, things happened there that were crazy. People got shot and killed by kids in my neighborhood. It was just the way it was over there. I mean, it just doesn't. It's just a different way of life.
As kids, we stayed out of those neighborhoods. We stuck to our own
when
neighborhoods.
When you're born to that neighborhood, there's not a whole lot you can do, Pugs. I couldn't really afford to go move myself to Highland Park. I was 12 years old.
No, you moved as soon as you could, though.
I moved out probably before I should have, actually, to be honest with you. But at 17, I lived in motels for a while, for a big part of my life. What are you looking for? More food?
No. Just go ahead. I'm listening.
But I moved out when 17, lived in motels, and got my first apartment when I could at the age of 18 for my 18th birthday. Had a badass pimped out apartment, dude, and it was so. We talked about this before, Jimmy. Mm-hmm. That was my little present to myself. But Jimmy, did you ever have any friends that ran around? Do you have any friends that had real guns that thought they were cool and they had it to be cool, or because they thought they might use it on somebody? Did you ever have a kid that carried a gun?
Yeah, a few of them.
And would they actually have used that gun, or was it more for show?
No, there were definitely some that would and did. So it's just
were
the
they
way it is.
gangbangers, or these kind of guys that were bad attitudes?
A few of them were kind of gangbanger types, and then I had one guy that was pretty good friends with me that. Especially in my senior year, because my senior year I ended up going to an alternative school that was kind of for people that didn't have like enough credits to go into their senior year.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have 26. By the time you graduate, I had 6 going into my senior year.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
So I had a lot of catching up to do that year. And there was a guy who had just gotten out of the military and was now going back, I guess, to do some more classes at the same place.
Uh-huh.
I ended up hanging out with him, and he was one of these guys that, much like Pugs was saying, would constantly in class talk about the fact, I was in the military, I know how to handle my my firearm, I always know what I'm doing. And then the second that we would leave there, he'd be getting drunk, brandishing it, throwing it around the place, check it out.
I hate those people.
I know.
I hate those people because I believe in the right to bear arms, and I think that we should be allowed to have guns, but I think that the prosecution needs to be a lot more vehement against these people who screw up innocently. For instance, I was at a bar once, a friend of ours bar. Don't need to mention it. Not even why I brought that up. I was at a bar once, and a guy walked in who was a cop, and he was carrying his gun. He had it on him. He was off duty, but he still had it on him. And he was drunk, and he started pulling it out, and he put it on the bar. And I'm sitting here thinking, here's what should happen. I didn't, of course, say this because, we're all social. I'm like, here's what should happen. You should lose your job. They should take the gun away from you, and you should go to jail for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. You are drunk. You're a police officer. You're only allowed to bring this in here because you are a police officer, and you're drunk, and you're acting foolishly. You're putting the gun out on the bar for anyone could walk in and just grab it and start shooting people. You're supposed to be more, I was going to say mature or adult, professional. Than that. That's what I hate. I hate the people who need guns because their dicks are too small. The guys who need guns because somehow when they're drunk it makes them feel like they're badasses. No, you need a gun when somebody breaks into your house and tries to rape your daughter. That's what you need a gun for.
You got a gun?
No.
You got a gun, Pugs?
I do.
You do? Sam, you got a gun?
No.
Here's my problem with guns. And a buddy of mine had a gun. Now I'm not allowed to legally own a gun. But my buddy had a gun. He used to keep it on his. He lived in a big ass house. Y'all have all met him at some point. But he had a really big house, and I'd like to have a gun myself. To be honest with you, he left it on his dresser at night. My problem with that is I sleepwalk and I do crazy stuff in my sleep. Okay, my biggest fear is that I would grab that gun and in my sleep shoot it off, because I'm the kind of person that has fights in my sleep and I punch things in my sleep and I kick things, and I would be scared I'd pick up that gun and shoot it off.
You cannot. If someone busted into my room in the middle of the night and wanted to kill me, I'd be dead because they've got the jump on me. They got the plan.
Not if you keep your door locked.
I don't keep. Well, they can kick in the door.
No, but when the reason.
Well, but my point is saying what you're saying is I can't get to my gun in 30 seconds and get it out. I can't. It's in a little safe. It's on the top shelf of my walk-in closet in my big room. There's no way my kid doesn't even know it exists. I mean, I don't even think my ex-wife knew it existed. I mean, she knew, but it's just something that you never go near. It is there for the emergency situation. And unfortunately, if it's a break-in in the middle of the night and someone's standing over me, hold on. Oh, what is the combination? You know, I gotta remember. But that's
what you
the
gotta do,
pitfalls
though,
of being a proper gun owner.
You need to, though, take your. Do you guys? Do what I'll do is I lock my door to my room. So when they start to, you think the door to the room is not going to be locked,
I lock
right?
my door to my room too.
Okay, you know why I
go
do it?
sleep.
Because I figured that gives me a chance to at least get up and get
Gives you a
prepared.
second. You'll hear it.
What I'm saying is maybe if you maybe do a little bit at a deadbolt to your bedroom door, you'll hear it more, and it gives you a little more time to get your gun out and unlock it. And
I got one thing going for me. He's going to have to go through the dog first. And the dog will go after anyone that comes in the middle
You've
of the
been
night
saying your
that doesn't
dog's going to pass away for years, by the way.
I know. He's 14 and still
I'm not
rocking.
picturing this dog kicking ass, but apparently he can.
She's got no problems. No, she's healthy as a
We
mule.
talked about it on the show before about how like this dog has been supposed to be dead. Like,
supposed to have liver cancer.
yeah.
It's been 2 years now. 2 years since the vet diagnosed her as having liver cancer and telling me that it was going to cost me $1,500 a month to get her treated and that there'd be a good chance that she'd be okay. To which I said, you know, we're just going to roll the dice. She's a dog, and she's, at this point, 13. Her breed is only supposed to live to be 9. She's playing on house's money. So we're just going to... She's a Husky Timberwolf mix. So she's, you know, she's a healthy, big, sturdy dog. Not real big. People are shocked when they see her. They think she'd be much bigger. But she's not. That was 2 years ago. This vet was ripping me up. This vet was trying to get $1,500 prying on my love for my dog. And I said, no, she's never taken a pill. She's never been back to the vet. And it's 2 years later. She has solid poops. She's fine. You know, because really that's the only problem with a dog.
She is healthier than me.
She's healthy as hell, man. She's healthy as hell.
I always
And
feel
she's
like
a great watchdog.
Yeah, I always feel like the veterinarians are doing quite a bit of that to keep their, you know, business going. And I don't totally blame them because that is an expensive operation to run.
It's thievery. I
But
do
yeah,
blame
it
them.
is. Yeah.
If you know that I love my dog and you're going to leverage that for your own financial benefit, you're a thief.
Yeah,
on,
no, you definitely are.
Let's talk about something real fast. Speaking of protection, all right, we know that you have a gun. It's not going to do any good because it's too far away. You do keep your door locked.
But I can probably get to the gun because the dog, before the guy kills the dog, because you can kill a dog. You'll get bit up and stuff, but you can kill a dog. But by the time the guy has killed the dog, I will have gotten the gun out of the safe.
What are you going to do?
And then I kill him because he killed my dog.
What's your
I'm
preparation?
totally dead. Yeah.
You're not. I mean, you're really not mentally prepared at all for this.
Do you think this out?
I'm going to come out swinging, but, you know.
Do you have a game plan? Have you thought about what would happen? Because that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I have.
I have.
No, not really.
Sam, do you have a game plan? Are you prepared?
No, I haven't thought about
You
it.
guys both live
you know the
together.
other
Neither one of you are prepared. You're both dead.
Brandon, you know, the other thing that I've done, and I've talked about this for years, and people always make fun of me for it, but I used to, before I had a 2-year-old that got into everything, I used to stash weapons all over the house.
I remember like nunchucks and stuff, right? I've heard you talk about that.
Baseball bats, a golf club.
I'm that way.
You know, there's a golf club under the couch, just in case. I need to
I've
reach
got
in.
my secret weapons.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
my BB gun. I know it's funny that I got a BB gun, but they do hurt because I tested it the other day. And it does at least sting you for a second. And if they have a gun, they're going to shoot me. At least I can look like I got a gun. Maybe, I don't know. But bottom line is I can shoot my way out of the window, too, in my room, bust through. But
I also keep a cleaver, a big cleaver between the two
what
mattresses.
is it?
on
Oh,
my
the
bed.
big.
Wow.
Okay, I keep my
Just in case. I'm a little paranoid.
I keep a
You know?
Cleveland
Hey,
pitching
you gotta
wedge.
understand though. I mean, there was a time not too long ago when Kelly and I had death threats. You know, people were like making death threats. We had to meet with the FBI and all this stuff.
Wow.
I get
I
those.
got a little spooked back then.
I don't get me the FBI. I've gotten death threats. I've gotten plenty of calls.
That's just for banging married women.
Well, hold on. It's funny you're bringing this up and that this came up by totally. I want to show you something. Last night I was freaking out pretty badly, and I slept on the. If you go to my living room, I slept on the couch last night. I kept hearing noises and that's why I said thank God you didn't do a little joke with me, Jimmy, because last night I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing crap in my house, and I look at my phone call log last night. I kept getting this right here. See that right there? What does it say?
Blocked.
I got a block call there.
What are the times? Tell me what time?
So many times last night around between 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock, just coming at me, and I would answer, and just nobody would say nothing. And I've had some threats recently. I've had, and we're talking very recent. I've had some threats, and people told me some stories that people that are out to maybe get me. And I got that, and I slept on the couch last night, even though it's like a big place. I couldn't sleep, so I'd turn the TV on and do some DVR because nothing's on at 3 o'clock in the morning, that like info commercials.
I'll tell you, the biggest threat to you right now is leaving that mayonnaise out on the counter. that's something you gotta watch out for.
What do you mean by that?
You're not supposed to leave mayonnaise out for more than 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I don't know some of the basic things in life.
Eggs and dairy products.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, well, but yeah, so I keep a Cleveland pitching wedge. I keep my BB. I know it sounds stupid, but it does hurt. A BB gun just for the hell of it, just because I feel like I got something to put in my arm. But I've jumped up in the middle of sleep and knocked myself out because I jumped up. I jumped up one time and attacked my clothes hamper, which is somewhere behind that thing over there. I attacked I thought it was a person. I threw it across the room, but when I jumped up, my bed used to be right next to the closet, and the doors opened up. So when I jumped up, I hit my head into the damn closet and literally knocked myself out. And I was screaming and yelling. I had guests in my house that night, dude. I was so embarrassed, man. I woke up with a black eye and stuff.
I'll tell you what freaks me out a lot is I have a big coat rack, a big giant, coat. That thing right there in the corner, tell you, that would freak the hell out of me in the middle of the night.
That used to be my living room.
I would catch that out of the corner of my eye and go, "Who are you?"
At my house in Addison, that was in the living room.
A fully dressed mannequin that
you can see it in the video sometimes. But in my house in Addison, that was in the living room, and people would walk in and freak. And I would do it too. I'd walk. It took about a month to get used to that damn thing in my living room, dude.
Look at it. Jimmy's got it up there on the camera right now.
That's good. That's a good protection thing right there. Should put him in my room.
Should put it in your window, your front window.
Yeah.
So it looks like somebody's looking.
Yeah. I am paranoid, but I have reasons to be. I think. You know what I mean? But
you do. You bring a lot of them on yourself.
I've always just assumed that man, I know that this is not the way it would go down. But like if some guy is coming into the house and robbing things, I really don't have people that really want me dead, thankfully. Yeah. So like I would imagine they're coming in to steal stuff. If they wake me up, I'm gonna be like, hey guys, keep it down. Take that stuff.
But
like,
you might
there's nothing
shock
else here.
And they got freak out.
Oh no, I'm
going
to be very calm about it, guys. Guys, there's stuff over there. Really, nothing else. I mean, there's a computer in the next room. You can get that as well. But it's really kind of a waste. I may even tell them like the rich group that lives like right down the street might want to hit up that house on the way out of here, guys.
Here's the address.
Yeah.
Keep a list. There's a lot of places to rob better than mine.
I'll help you.
Yeah.
I used to keep my van unlocked because.
Good idea.
Let's go. That's what you do. You win them over to your side. Guys, look, I know you don't know me, but I'm a good people person. I'm great with managing situations. Here's what's going on. You picked the wrong house. We're not going to get anything from this house. I've got some neighbors. Let's get in the car. Hold on. Let me get my ski mask. I'll get in the car. We'll split it. Cut me in for 10%. That's how you handle it.
I've had my
broker with them.
Yeah.
Behind my alley, there's some places right here that people can walk to that are bad, like some apartments that need to be torn down. And my alley's notorious for getting broken into. So I used to leave my van got broken into twice. So I just started leaving my van unlocked. There's nothing. They've already taken everything out of it that was worth anything. Okay, so I just started leaving my van totally unlocked so they can walk up, open up, and not break out a damn window or bust out the locks that they did and see there's nothing to grab. What's funny is the last time they broke into my van. All my big wheels, those big wheels are worth a lot of money. Well, they're worth about $200, but you can't get them anymore. So for that reason, they got a tremendous amount of value to me. And all my big wheels are thrown out in the yard, but not taken because they're too big to take and grab. Those burglars had to unload all sorts of crap out of my van to find there was nothing in there. Like they went through a lot of work to unload my van because I don't like to unload it myself.
There was a story in Chicago on the South Side about 20 years ago, and I'll never forget this story because I thought it was so ingenious. It was a guy like you who owned a piece of property, and it was he was using a vacant lot that he owned next to his property to store cars and vehicles. And all the cars were getting broken into. They were getting broken into. People were stealing stuff. And so what he did was he had a van, probably an old 20 years ago conversion van like the one you were talking about. And he put stuff in the car. So it looked like it was loaded up with stuff like TV boxes and stuff like that. But he also put a beehive in there.
Awesome.
Right next, there was again, the memories are sketchy, and the only reason I know about this is because this guy went to jail. To jail.
You can get in trouble for booby trapping.
Yeah, for booby trapping. And someone broke in, and the dude got stung 300 times because he was in this van, and suddenly he's surrounded, and he's getting stung all over his face. And he was a petty criminal, a thief, and he got what was coming to him.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody pretty much, he got what you're coming to. But the guy who put the beehive in there actually went to jail. But I thought that was ingenious.
Yeah, that's BS, man. And you should be what if he had pet bees? That's what my thing would have been. I would have been like, no, I like the bees, That's
where I
what
keep
do.
them.
Yeah.
My bees, my lot, my vehicle. That's where I keep them. He broke in.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah.
That's
Bad idea.
funny. That's a great story, though.
That
How many
is.
years ago was that?
About 20 years ago. But it was in the 80s. Because I remember I was in high school. We talked about it in a civics class.
That's genius. Totally genius.
Yeah, you ever have a story?
bootstrap
Were y'all
veins.
ever jumped as kids? You ever been like chased or jumped? You have been like
Yes.
by
Yeah.
like more than one kid, like several.
Yeah.
What was your story, Jimmy?
Mine was a couple times. One time I was hanging out with a group of guys that apparently had beef with another group, another little gang. So I was hanging out with them between classes, really didn't even know anything of it. I was just trying to get some weed. And so I talked to one guy. Apparently they caught wind of that. So on my way home, I'm walking home alone. I ended up getting jumped that day.
They take everything?
I really didn't have too much. I had my backpack on me. You know what I mean? This was in school.
They just
so.
wanted to beat you up.
They get your weed?
No, I didn't get my weed yet. I was actually
you
on
got
my.
jumped and didn't get your weed.
Well, no, I was on my way to go get weed on my way home.
man.
So they did. I think that they did take the cash. So I wasn't able to do that. But thankfully, the guy that I talked to, felt very bad about the fact that I had been jumped. So he gave me a free bag.
How bad were you beaten up though? Like bad? Were you hurting real bad, or was it?
I was pretty bruised up. My had like a black eye, a couple other things.
How many guys were there?
4.
Four.
So,
Four
yeah.
dudes just beat the hell out of you.
Yep. That and then in middle school a couple times.
What about you, Pugs?
Yeah, I'll never forget. We were coming home at a bar. This is probably about 91, 90 or something. There were 3 of us. We were coming home from a bar, and a car pulled up next to us, and it was just a typical road rage thing where, you start flipping each other off. And we pulled into this place called El Farol, which is a burrito place that everyone would go to after the bars closed. And you have to, this is on the south side of Chicago. This is probably about 5-10 miles from where my neighborhood was, but it was in a neighborhood of town that was a little bit more controlled by, say, the Soprano types.
Mm-hmm.
It was the part of Chicago, it's basically the Al Capone area of Chicago, where all those people have their encampments and stuff. And we pull into this El Farol, and we know this car is following us. So the car follows. We go in, and there's probably 50 people in line. It's jam-packed. The way these places are, where you get food after the bars close. There's people in line waiting. We get in line, and we notice that the car that we were flipping off and that was flipping us back is now, there's a bunch of guys, and they're in line with us, and they're all a bunch of Guidos.
Oh.
And you don't want to deal with the Guidos, especially in a town like Chicago, because the Guidos all have an uncle who's a state's attorney. Their brother is the crooked cop who's on that beat. It's all you just, especially
you
in
got
their neighborhood.
Pauly D in the situation about to jump you.
No, I got Christopher Moltisano from The Sopranos and his buddies. Pauly D and those guys are pussies. Those guys aren't real guys trying to make their bones, as they say. And that's the thing. If you're a 19-year-old wannabe, and you're basically a soldier, or not even a soldier at this point, but you're just doing shit, trying to get on the radar of the neighborhood boss or whatever.
Right.
These are called making your bones. And stomping the hell out of a bunch of preps who came into your neighborhood for a late night party is a way to make your bones. So we're in line, and we're like, we're going to get jumped. We are in their neighborhood. They followed us here. So we get our food. Nothing is happening. There's an off-duty cop there, sitting in the restaurant, because there are problems, because it is Guido Town. And I go into the bathroom, and it's a one-person bathroom, these little things. And I walk into the bathroom and close the door, and I lock the door, and a dude just kicks the door in. This little Guido guy, he's a lot littler than me, but he had the leather jacket on and the slick back hair. He's probably maybe relatively my age, but I was looking at him like he was an older guy, but he really wasn't. If I was 21, he was probably 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I'm like, hey, what the hell? I turn around, and he's like, let's go, because I'm going to kill you right now. I'm going to kill you right here in this bathroom. I'm going to kill you. And he starts telling me this, and he pulls out a switchblade. And I'm like, oh, crap. And somehow I got out of that bathroom. He didn't do anything, but I ran out of that bathroom, and my boys ran out after me. And then we jumped in our car, and then these other guys jumped in their car, and they started following us. And finally, one of the guys I was with was a probation officer named Don, and he's a cop, sort of a cop. He was a probation officer. But he had his badge and all that stuff, and he's, kind of a manly man. He's like, F this, screw this, stop, we're stopping. I'm going to let these Guidos chase us out. And we pull over into this parking lot, and they pull out, and we're all standing there in this parking lot. We're all about to go, right? Mm-hmm. And they pull out knives. We don't have anything. We don't got anything. We're in our club clothes, man. And they pull out knives, and then out of nowhere, all these security dudes come from because we pulled over into this train depot parking lot area, and the security guys came, and they broke it up. But, man, that was scary as hell. And then a month later, I ran into that guy, and he walked up to me in a mall and cold cocked me right in front of the mall. He
Wow.
I knew it was him. Like, I saw him at the mall, and I was like, damn it, I hope he doesn't recognize. There's no way. He was drunk. I was drunk. There's no way he recognizes me. And I was just walking through the mall, and he came out of his store, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "What?" And he just popped me right in the face, dropped me right there in the mall, and walked away.
That is much better than the two circumstances you were going to be in the first.
Yeah. Well, the first one was really scary. That was the first
Yeah.
time I was like jumped by a gang of guys, and I had other guys with me, and it didn't actually come to a scrap. We were saved by the security guards. I mean, we would have gone to the hospital. These guys would have. These guys are criminals. They're probably now those guys are all in their 40s. They've probably done time. They're probably racketeering dudes, and they're mob guys. And that's the thing that we don't have here. You got gangs and stuff like that here, and we got gangs. We got a lot of gangs in Chicago. But man, when you have that mob influence where these people literally are above the law, where they're not worried about going to jail because the cop's going to cut them loose, because the cop that arrested him owes his uncle $50,000 in some betting scheme. It's like it's insane. It's really scary.
I disagree a little bit with you, and the reason is because here, where I grew up, you think you're going to jail anyway, so you're not scared of it because you expect to go to jail. And I asked you guys the other day if y'all have ever been to jail. Y'all said no. Okay, remember that?
I've been arrested and I've been.
But my point is,
but I've never been
you
to
said they think
jail.
they won't go to jail. And you're right. The cops could be bought off back in those days. But here, you just expect to go. It's like, in fact, it makes you kind of tough. And like a lot of people want to go to jail. There's a gang in Texas that you have to be arrested and go into jail to even be part of that gang. So it's like here, it's just kind of like, okay, I did my time. You want to do time. There's that mentality.
The
sometimes.
only people who go to jail, and this is no joke, the only people who go to jail instantly in Chicago are blacks and Mexicans. It's the minorities. The white people always get out of it.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's scary because they can get out of it. It's also scary when someone says, "I want to be in jail. Put me back there."
Yeah, you're right. That's someone who's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that where I grew up. You talking about these fights. I've lost you kind of described a fight that reminded me of some friends. I had a friend who passed away and I was friends with both people involved. There was two different groups, man. They were fighting over a girl that I'm still friends with this day. And
it's always a girl involved with you guys.
There was a girl involved. These two guys are both badass kind of guys, man. It's a really sad story, and but unfortunately they were chasing each other, and they got in a fight. They jumped in the back of a pickup. Everyone else pursued them, and the truck flipped over in the chase. And one of my friends, passed away in that. And it created a war between these two groups for a long time. I mean, it got crazy. We're talking about getting beat up, jumped. I got part of it by accident one time, and I remember getting punched by one of the baddest dudes in my area at a big fight that broke out on New Year's Eve. And on New Year's Eve in Pleasant Grove, you ain't getting the cops out there, buddy. You call the cops, it takes 2 hours to get out there. There was like so many fights in that one night, it was ridiculous. But I ran into one of those guys, and it was really kind of cool about this story is because I was friends with both groups is the guy that lived, that really took a beating by mentally over and over about what happened because he was accused of killing this guy, even though he really didn't, finally got forgiveness from the family. And I know it might not sound like a big deal. That's a huge freaking deal in this guy's life that it pretty much changed his entire life.
He can walk the street again.
Well, he could walk the street again, but it's just to have that burden of, he was very remorseful. It wasn't his fault what happened, but he got blamed for it. He was constantly attacked. Physically attacked over and over and over. His house was shot up. It never stopped, man. Here's a young guy, he's 18 years old, who's literally fearful of his life every time he walked out the front door for like a year straight. And the only reason it quit is because he finally moved out of the area and got married and stuff. But he finally kind of got the forgiveness from the family, and they talked about it, which I thought was really cool. I ran into that guy like about 2 months ago, and he told me the story about that. But man, I witness this stuff all the time, man. The fights. I mean, I got jumped about 5 years ago at a BMX event in Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah, you're too old now to be getting jumped. You are. At some point, you need to stop getting jumped.
Hold on, I shouldn't have been. I was breaking up a fight, but these are all grown men camping out at the campgrounds in Rock. You know what Rockford is?
I do know what Rockford is.
Bunch of local rednecks causing trouble, and I was breaking up a fight, and then my buddy got involved. The next thing I know, I got jumped by 3 guys, man, and I probably got my head hit about 100 times between feet and fists in a matter of 60 seconds. Felt like eternity, but I was just getting kicked right in the face and punched and kneed, and I finally got up and was trying to fight them. They took off, but I ripped the one dude's shirt off. I was so mad. It was crazy, dude. In Rockford, Illinois. The cops sit there and watched the whole thing. They didn't do one thing about it. They couldn't do nothing. They were so outnumbered. There was probably 40 people involved in this fight, this incident.
I remember you telling me that story, and you guys were like in the woods or something.
Yeah, some kind of park where there's a BMX track.
Yeah, I told you I know where that track is. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, and it was a weird story, man. It was.
Isn't that Great Midwest BMX? Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, we talked about. No, I think it's just called Rockford BMX track. I don't know. Maybe it is, but it's. It's one of the most famous tracks in the U.S.
Yeah.
So
It's a real track.
It's got like paved turns that are like tar made out of whatever.
Yeah,
But,
the corporate
asphalt,
name
asphalt.
is Great Midwest BMX.
Okay.
But at Rockford Park is I guess probably what the locals would call it.
But interesting. But anyway, thank God that I hope to not be part of that. God, I'm always fearful, dude. I'm always got somebody after me. It seems like I hate that feeling too.
See, no, man. I don't think I have anybody after me. I don't want anybody after. That would suck.
I go out of my way to make sure that I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't always control the circumstances, though.
But you can 99.9% of the time.
I think you
Yeah.
can control them all.
Okay.
There's no excuse for a man our age to have anyone after them, unless the man our age has done something wrong. Now, it's wrong to be after someone. The person that's doing the pursuing is also wrong. That's illegal. It's uncivilized. It's not something that mature people do. That's why we have attorneys. That's how you go after people. Mature, civilized individuals go after one another with attorneys, and I know you know that all too well as well.
Oh, yeah. How do I?
You've got that side covered. But just to have, like, it's like whenever I see a bar fight now, and it's like older guys, I just think, one, if you're going to be in a bar at your age, and at that age is like my age, behave yourself.
Yeah.
Be the elder statesman. Don't be the guy starting the fight.
Well, I had a guy follow me to my destination just in Rockwall. Of all places, Rockwall, going to an indoor soccer match just like 2 months ago.
Why?
Apparently, the road, like, I'm not aware that the road's out there. The road kind of cuts, like it stops being 2 lanes into 1 lane and converges or whatever. And I didn't know this, and it was dark, and I was trying to, like, I sped up so I could make the whatever when it merged, and apparently I cut the guy off a little bit. So this guy decided that he kept flicking the lights at me, like, what is this guy doing? So I was like, okay, he's following us. I had a friend in the car, like, Richard, he's following us, and I pulled up to our destination, and this guy got out. Listen, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'1".
No,
okay?
yeah, you're not a small guy.
And this guy gets out of his car and comes over and starts yabbing at me and going. And I'm late. I'm hauling ass because I'm late. Okay, and I did not mean. I felt bad. I cut the guy. If that's what happened. Okay, it wasn't intentional. Okay,
Right.
and I did what you're supposed to do. I mean, the lane merges. You got to get over, right? So it was either me speed up and get over and kind of cut him off a little bit, or me just ran off the road. That was my option. Okay. So, but we get them like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry it happened. I got to get inside this place. I'm running behind. You know what I mean? He just coming at me and just coming. I was like, dude, really? We're about to get in a fight in the parking lot over this incident. Really? I'm like, first of all, you're pretty ballsy to chase me down. I mean, I'm a grown man, and there's 2 of us, by the way. And my friend's not real big or nothing, okay? But there's 2 of us. There's still 2, and we're grown men. We don't want to fight. I'm like, dude, I finally said, dude, if you're going to do something to me, let's just do this because I'm running behind, bro. I'm late, dude. Otherwise, I'm walking away right now. Like, if you're going to do whatever you got to do, but I'm walking away. I got to get back in here. And I walked away, and I was like, oh, man, you know what? He's out there by my damn car. Maybe I better go back there and check and make sure.
Oh, yeah, you got to walk
so
in.
I walked back out there to make sure he drove off, and he was driving off. I was like, holy crap, I just left my car out there.
I once had a road rage incident, and I thought I handled it perfectly. There was a guy in the lane next to me, and I don't even know what happened at this point. I was still living in Chicago, so it was like the mid-'90s. And flipping him off, he's flipping me off, and he's looking at me, and he's giving me that thing, like, because we're kind of in slow traffic, and he's like, you want to go? You want to go? So I had this brilliant idea, and I'm telling you, I would probably use this again. He was in the right lane, I was in the left lane. Coming up, there was a parking lot, and I started pointing to the parking lot, and I'm like, get over there. I'm kicking. I roll my window, and I'm like, you want to go? Pull over. Come on, I'll meet you over there. And I put on my turn signal, and he goes first, and he pulls into the parking lot, and I kept going. Just kept going. I was like, you pussy.
What do you do, though?
Fight you ass.
great.
Yeah.
What do you do as a grown man, though, when someone is really pushing their buttons over and over? I'm not going to take the first punch, but there's an incident at a BMX event, another one, 4 or 5 years ago in Arizona. I was in Arizona, and this guy was just got me to not get along. He just hates me because I wouldn't put his kid on the BMX team is what it boiled down to. So for that reason, he had a vendetta against me. And he finally was just making my life hell, just acting like a child, okay?
Right.
And finally, me and another guy were getting into it who was acting the same way, who disrespected my BMX program, did everything he could to, sabotage my BMX program. And I just had enough. I said, dude, let's talk. Quit trying to take my riders. Quit trying to talk to that kid who you talk trash about and now you're trying to put the fast guys on your team. You've talked trash about that kid all year long when his kid was on my team because another guy was on my team. Now you're gone. Just let it be gone, bro. This other guy pops up that's had a problem with me for a long time. And it's like, what's your problem with Shaw? He's like, I don't know. He couldn't tell no one, but because he didn't want to say his kid wasn't good enough to be on my team is what he didn't want to say. But He said, "Let's go, man. Let's dance. Let's dance." I said, "Dude, I'm not gonna fight you at a ABA. It's a BMX. I'm a real
Swayze.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm at a real team. I'm a real factory BMX program. I can get suspended. I'm not going to jeopardize my program for one thing. We're at a sanctioned event. Second of all, there's kids around. There's your wife, your kids around. If you want to do something, you come find me off the track. You know where I'm at any time. I'm not going to fight you right here, bro. I'm here to talk to him. It's between me and this guy, not you." He goes, "Come on, I was like, "Dude, I was so mad." I was like, if you want to do this, you just need to just hit me. You're going to have to hit me." Am I wrong for saying that?
No. You're a mature adult. You don't fight like that. You know what you do? Somebody says, let's dance. I go, hold on. And you just go find security.
But I had the people going, "You should have walked away."
Yeah, you should have walked away.
And
you got to walk away.
There's like a year of bad blood. And I was like, dude, I'm just trying to talk to this guy because I had to have this talk to this
Here's
other guy.
what you need to be able to do. And this is something that I've been able to do, and I've gotten out of a lot of these confrontations with it. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to somehow let this guy understand what an idiot he's being.
Well,
whether
I
it's
did
making
that.
fun of him, whether it's being funny towards him, whether it's making the whole situation seem as absurd
I was there doing
as
that.
it is.
I was there to talk.
Because if you can get them to feel embarrassed, or if you can get them to kind of feel stupid about what they're doing, they'll leave. They will. 9 times out of 10, they're just going to like, whatever, dude, screw you. And they'll turn around and walk away. You've won. You've verbally beaten them. Now, there's the other 1% of those guys who will just be like, and slug you. And that's a problem. But most of the time, you can talk your way out of these situations.
Which is what happened. But I did say, like, listen, if you're that insistent on fighting me, because come on, we'll go right now. I said, dude, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to. But if you want to swing at me and hit me, if you want to, then just do it. But we're not going to fight here at the track. I go, if that's what you need, then. But I talked my way. I mean, I was there not to talk to him to begin with. Right. I'm like, I'm here, and I was like, dude, there's kids around. This is a real. I have a real program here. I got something to lose here. I'm not going to do it because of you. You're not worth my time. But dude, there's part of me, man. I got in that van. There's a year or longer of frustration built up, and this guy's been attacking me in every way possible he could. Which none of it was working, you know what I mean, to get at my program. My kids, his kid went as far as say, we can't hang around Sun Bru riders. Y'all aren't welcome here. His kids, he had his little kid doing this stuff. Wow. That's when it's really bad. And the parents, that's like, ugh. But anyway, all right, well, okay, so we're not fighters on the show, thank God. Jimmy, you had something to say?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay, I thought you were about to chime in.
I think I was, but I think the moment's over.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I killed the mood there. Sorry about that.
No, I forget what it was.
I have one thing that I want to say, and I want to ask everybody in this room. Mm-hmm. I have a belief, and I've had this my entire life. Well, first of all, Jimmy, have you ever been punched square in the face? Yeah, you've been jumped. Mm-hmm. So you've been punched in the face. You've been punched in the face, right?
Look at that nose, pull stick right there.
Of course, yeah. Sam, what about you? Anyone just walked up and punched you square in the face?
Nope.
Okay, see, you need to be punched in the face. Somebody's got to punch you in the face.
We can handle that.
Maybe not now because you're too old. But I've always said that every young boy needs to run his mouth and get popped in the face for it. It is a governor that every young boy needs to have. He needs to know that that's an option. And what's that?
I thought I was invincible until that fake tooth got put in there.
And the first time you get punched square in the face, first time your nose gets popped, when you feel that rush of blood to your head and that tingling sensation and everything going, whoop, 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 and then you get real warm, your face gets real warm because every guy needs to feel that just once so that they know you got to be respectful of other people because someone will haul off and punch you.
I'll always remember the first time it happened to me was in 5th grade. We were playing football during recess, right? And I ended up getting pushed out of bounds, and I was pissed off. And at this point, basically, I was able to take over the world in my mind. So I start getting into this guy, and I'm yelling at him, and I'm totally in the wrong here. And but I just keep on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then boom, I get hit. And that changed everything.
Changes everything. Your outlook. You understand that. Okay. All right.
All right. I'm just going to go back over there and get in the huddle if you don't mind.
I'm going to choose my words more carefully. I'm not going to be such an obnoxious ass with strangers.
It was a very important learning moment.
First time it happened to you, first time I was ever hit like that was 6th grade. It was a wrestling tournament, and I pinned a guy, and I was being a little bit of an a-hole, and the guy got up off the mat in front of all of these entire elementary school gym, and the kid walked up to me and punched me square in the face. Square in the face. We're all in our team uniform.
Man.
My nose busted wide open. I had blood coming out, and I panicked. I didn't know what was going on. I just pinned this dude, and I was being a cocky ass. I was like, yeah. And he walked up and he cracked me for it. And you know what? Never once have I celebrated an athletic victory again.
But
You
see-
just don't do it. You
Yeah.
got to have class or someone will pop you. And I got popped and I learned from it.
I don't feel like I deserved all my poppings. Like my tooth here I got my stitches. First time I ever got beat up was this incident. I kind of got beat up sort of when I was in 4th grade because a guy took a pull stick across my nose. Me and his cousin were fighting because the cousin was being a little jerk. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a guy pops me across the face with my pull stick, and it broke the stick in half. But I mean, that's kind of like, that's okay to get beat up that way. I mean, that wasn't really fair, was it?
No.
So
no.
I didn't deserve that. And then the incident with my tooth was this guy was cheating. We had a BMX track. Remember back in the days, they don't have these anymore. Everyone had trails, BMX trails. We all rode
Because
around.
everybody had a neighborhood that was under construction.
You know, well, you just had
Made
you
a
had
BMX
unused
track there.
you had unused land, you know, and
Sure.
especially in parts where I live where people didn't want to build anyway. And so I remember this kid was just cheating on our racing over and over. So what I did was I just jumped up in the air because he was cheating, he had it coming, and I side kicked him. Like I jumped up high enough next to him where I was at this level, and I took my back tire and goes pop. It's called a side kick. You know, you kick your back
kick
in
out.
around. Well, it's side kick, but
Or
I was, you know,
Mako.
but I jumped up and hit a jump. He was sitting on top, and I popped him. Didn't hurt him real bad or nothing, but he went home crying. Oh man! So I don't know if I had that coming or not, but he went home crying. I mean, this kid was my size, by the way, and I didn't punch him or nothing. He comes back and big brother comes up.
Uh-oh.
Now I've never been beat up. Okay, I thought.
How old are you?
I'm in 8th grade, and I
Okay,
feel pretty
13.
invincible, and I've never been beat up, and I was skinny but I was strong. And here comes this guy I know his exact stats because he played football the next year at my high school. 6'5", 285 pounds.
That's big.
I'm 5 foot probably.
That's massive.
I'm probably 5'9".
That's bigger than Brock Lesnar.
I weigh about 140 pounds.
Uh-huh.
This guy's 285, 6'5". He comes riding up on the bicycle that is his little brother's bike. He looks like a grown man. He looked like the refrigerator Perry. But he was super tall, so he wasn't like he was all fat. I'm like, that's his brother? Like, oh, yeah, you do. Get out of here. Get out of here. Man,
Get out of here.
I'm
now,
thinking this
right.
guy's like a grown man, dude. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not worried. It's like he's too. I grew up thinking, you know, you don't fight someone not your size. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way my mentality was. This guy's not gonna fight me. He's too big. He's like, who hit my brother? I'm like, I did. You know, because I thought I did hit him because he had it coming. He comes attacking me, dude, and he just cocks me square in the mouth. And dude, I mean, I saw stars. I didn't know what was going on. And by the time I came to, 3 or 4 guys grabbed him, had him, holding him. And I was like, shaking it off, getting up. And I'm like, man, screw you. I started going after him. I still think I can take this guy. And I just got my ass in
You're
it.
scrappy.
Because I'm like, screw you. And then he came at me again. And I just was like this. And he was on me. And they all jumped on. He finally got off. But I went home to go get I thought he was a grown man. I went home to go get my neighbors. Let's go get him. You know,
up a posse.
I can't listen. I went home. I had 2 Hispanic guys across the street. They were one of them named Roy. If he listens to the show ever, he's crazy. He was my superhero kind of. He was my Evel Knievel. This guy would take a bike and try anything. He's always breaking bones. Strong, good-looking guy, in shape, fearless, dude. This guy had no fear. He was a guy that came home, and I kind of thought it was cool. Every night, the cops would chase him home.
Every night.
It felt like that. It wasn't there, but like literally, I'm not exaggerating. I say at least once every 4 months, the cops were chasing him home. He had a fast enough car. He had a souped-up Firebird, okay, fast enough car to usually outrun them, where he could at least get home. I remember I'd watch my window, peeking out the window. I lived at a corner house, by the way. We both lived at a corner house. And he would be already inside of his truck. Oh, I just woke up, man. And I'd watch him get arrested. And his parents would bail him out. He was always for stupid stuff. He got arrested for small little stuff, but he got arrested all
Petty
the time.
crap. He's a neighborhood troublemaker.
Well, he fought a lot, dude.
Oh.
And but he'd get arrested, and he'd get arrested for speed and get out. But I came home to get Roy and Randy. Guys, go get him. Come on, let's go. Follow me. Let's go get this. Like, what happened? Come on, let's go get him.
Come on.
Let's go. And I was fearless, bro. My mom had to they had to. Luckily, all the neighborhood kids that were down there all came riding up on their bikes. It was a few blocks over. Nah, man, he's 15 years old. He's 15. I got these grown, like 18, 19-year-old guys about to go get him. And they were ready, by the way. They were about to go. And like,
can't beat
no,
up a
don't do that.
15-year-old, no matter how big he is.
I was like, that guy's my age. He was a year or two, like a year older than me. Yeah, he's your. I was like, oh, man, dude, are you kidding me? And then the reality set in. I'm like, man, I'm kind of scared. I don't want to ride my bike down. This is.
Yeah, now I
and
got to
by the
avoid
way,
the street.
I'm the fastest guy around town. I'm the killer BMX kid around town. Okay, Killer B, and I'm like the king of the trails because I race bikes. I have the expensive bicycle, dude. My pride was so hurt and I couldn't believe it. We saw that guy about 2 weeks later at the basketball court across. I lived across from a park, and we were playing tennis. I go, hey guys, there's the guy. Let's go get him. I had about 3 of my friends with me. There's like 4 of us. Nah, I go, guys, there's 4 of us, and these are guys that fight. These are we're athletes. Let's go get him. Nah, man. Nah,
He's too big. You're going to ruin my Saturday afternoon.
And they're like, he's got friends. If we do, they weren't about to do it, man. So I always had to like.
Well, you don't want to jump. You don't want to roll up on a guy and jump him when he's playing basketball with a bunch of his friends.
He's alone. No, I wouldn't dare do it. No,
himself?
I wasn't gonna do it with his friends. Hell no. I played those courts. I was the only white kid over there that played basketball with those courts. We call it jungle ball. You come home bloodied up every time you play over there. But I played, man. I was good. They call me Little Larry, like Little Larry Bird, because white.
In addition to Killer Bee?
Well, that was because I came with that name last time on the Dave show. But long story short, man, I'll never forget it. It was always stuck in my mind in high school having to walk past the guy. I always had that little like, man, that guy got the best of me, dude. Always. It always bugged me. It always would. I know he's probably in prison or locked up right now somewhere, and I'm probably better off than he is. But for many years, I was a kid that was kind of the invincible kid that got knocked the hell out,
They call that the bane of your existence.
But I didn't have it coming. I didn't feel like because I sidekicked his brother who was cheating, I had it coming, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's my story about my first incident to learn that I'm not invincible.
My most recent fight was a couple of years ago, and it'll never happen again.
I know
even then,
Can I predict it?
What?
In Chicago?
Yeah, dude
Go
cracked
ahead.
a beer bottle over my head for grabbing Kelly's ass.
Is that the scar right here or not?
Nah, it's over here. So this scar right here is from a car accident. I drove a car through a house. This one is he cracked a beer bottle over my head, and then I kicked his ass.
Yeah, hold on. You kicked his ass?
Yeah, hell yeah, it didn't even phase me.
It's weird
It was
when
me
adrenaline's
and
going.
Emil. Yeah, it was. He cracked. For a second, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "What is
What
this?"
just
And
happened?
I reach up, and then I see him. He's like backing away, and I'm like, "You're effing dead!" And I came after him, and I chased him, put him up against the wall at the bar, and then the bouncers pulled me off. He ran out the front. All my friends ran out the front. This was at the W in Chicago, and I was with some professional hockey players. One of which is a brawler by nature.
Why did he do it?
And he did not. He was
Hitting on Kelly, right?
They were my girlfriend and Kelly were standing there. No, wow, no, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. It was Emil's girlfriend and Kelly were standing there, and these guys it was a crowded bar at the W in Chicago, and this guy kept brushing up against Kelly, and she kept going, "Excuse me, can I have a little distance here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem," which is so weird because Kelly was standing there talking to 2 other girls, and then right next to her was obviously her boyfriend, who was a hockey player and gigantic. Like, he's 6'5" normally. He's like 6'9" on skates. I mean, he's massive. I don't know if anybody... Do you remember Rob? Anybody remember Kelly's boyfriend, Rob?
Yeah.
Big Rob. He's a big dude, right, Sam?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's standing there, and he's with a couple of other... two guys that were Chicago Blackhawks, one of which was a notorious NHL enforcer. And I'm the guy that turns to the dude and goes, "Hey, back off." She said, "Stop it." And he's like, "Oh, you got a problem?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're the problem." And I'm feeling emboldened because I'm with gigantic pro athletes.
Feeling invincible. You got your boys.
Yeah. And so I start squaring up with this guy, and he's right in front of me. And out of nowhere, his friend comes around the side and cracks me over the head with a beer bottle. And that's how the whole thing started.
Wow. All right, man. We think we had our testosterone.
I went to the
days.
hospital, and he got cut loose because, as it turns out, he was a drug dealer in the club. And he was in the security in the club got money, from him to operate his coke deals or whatever. And they let him go. They caught him. We said, "Wait for the police. I'm bleeding. I'm about to go to the hospital." And the security dude just let the dude go. That's the mob in Chicago.
Thinking about a bottle getting knocked across your head sounds so painful, but it's
Didn't even feel it.
It didn't feel. I've been there. And I know what you're talking about, man. I've
Didn't
had
even
things
feel
happen.
it.
Man, let's call it a day for the show, man. It's 2:16. We've had a good show. Thanks for coming by, Pugs.
Thank you.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah. No. No.
Yeah.
No, just
Facebook?
the Facebook page. Check out the Facebook page, The Bar Live. What is it on Facebook? I know it's brand new. Hardly any likes yet. So let's.
I don't know how you find it, man. The Bar Live.
The Bar
Oh,
Live
the Bar
on
Live.
Facebook.
Yeah, go in there and like it. We'll start putting stuff up. Put the secret recipes up, man.
I found it
First thing we
earlier.
got- what we'll do is the next time we talk about recipes, we'll have your recipe, Pugs, that we cut off on earlier.
It's a good one.
Your secret recipe. Like I said, we can't give them just free willy because we don't have a lot. Probably, I'm guessing. I'm guessing we don't have enough to get through the entire year. Probably.
Recipes?
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
I got
do
a
you?
ton
Really?
of them.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't. Okay, well, I don't. So I have to keep mine very, very precious and hold on to them. We'll come back to every day though. Tuesday through Friday from noon to 2. Check out Sun Bru's Action Living. Got Jimmy in the house. Thank you, Jimmy, for being here today, the board man. Sam, our mailman, which is also the news guy for the show, right, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Always giving the latest and breaking news, especially that story from 2 weeks old for the strippers yesterday. That was a good one. And then And then occasionally the Pugs is up here all the time, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, check us out, guys. We'll catch you guys later.